Hello, my dudes, and welcome back to the Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm the eponymous Press Pass.
Whoa, hey, how's it going, buddy?
It's going all right. How's your holiday? Happy Christmas, every person.
Merry Christmas! How dare you?
I don't do that. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Happy and merry are the same thing.
So, how's your holiday been?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
I did exactly what I intended to do, which was sleep in,
Uh-huh.
eat a lot of pizza rolls, and watch Three Stooges.
Okay.
And then come
That was
down.
the plan? No, Christmas story?
The old lady went up to visit her parents today in Marin.
You slummed it up.
So I got invited to do that, but I didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed home, and she went up there this morning, and she's back home now. So,
Like, if she wanted to keep a really big secret, like a project or something like that, it's like, do you want to go to my parents with me? And you're like, no, good. And she'll just leave. It's like predictable.
she didn't even ask me if I wanted to go.
Oh, okay.
Her parents just said that I was invited, and she just declined without even talking to me, which is part of the reason she's a good girlfriend. She was just like, nah, he's not going to do that. So she just knew better. She's like, nah, he already did the one thing that he does to be, that way once a year.
So that's the reason why we're podcasting on a Friday.
Well, the reason is that we're going to have some together time for the holiday tomorrow, so won't be able to podcast tomorrow. So I figured we just do it today because why not? And then I forgot
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. Thanks, Charlie Brown.
So have you ever started have you started any traditions with your girlfriend, like for Christmas time or any holiday for that matter?
No, not really. Usually our MO is to try to not do the things that everyone else does, and just because we're really happy,
hipsters.
we're just doing that. It makes us happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, it sure is great when we don't have to go get together with our family. We can just have food and not have to work for a day. That's pretty cool. But I don't know, for some reason she got it in her head that it might be a good idea to go visit her parents this year. So she did that, and I didn't. I don't even remember what we did last year. Not really. Yeah, we always exchange gifts early, so we never have gift exchange on Christmas.
The funny thing is, you buy a Christmas tree.
Well, this is the first year we've had to buy one. Normally from one of my freelance gigs just gives me a gift certificate for a tree every year. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that this year, but Diana, last few years, was like, oh, it's nice to have a tree, and so we went to get one, and she had to buy it. And so my job is just to go with her and to lug it back to the house.
Up.
Yep, that's
and then
it.
Take it down, I imagine.
Yep, those are my only roles. I don't decorate it. I don't fucking water it. I don't do any of that. So
does your cat go crazy when a tree's up, or
nope.
he's like,
no, he doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
He's like, oh, my litter box is now 3 feet to the side.
Why'd you move it?
Whatever. It's cool. But yeah, so yeah, we have a tree. It's kind of nice because I don't know. It's a tree. It makes the house smell nice, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a light that's it's like movie lighting. Because I only have overhead lighting in my house, lamps.
Yeah.
So I could turn all the lights off. I just turn on the Christmas tree, and it's good movie lighting.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a movie or something. Mm-hmm. So that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't really care that it's a Christmas tree, but it's.
Yeah, my old room, I used to set up LED Christmas lights around the edge just for extra ambiance.
Yeah.
You're not like a creeper with a fluorescent light in your room.
Yeah.
It's am I gonna get murdered in this room?
Well, yeah, especially if we have white lights on our Christmas tree, and so if you if you stringed those up around the periphery of your house, you could just leave them up after Christmas because it's not like they're themed. You're like, oh, they're just lights.
Yeah,
just leave them there.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people that have done that. Just leave them up.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I have noticed in my neighborhood, they're really, for the most part, I would say about 20% of the houses do light up their houses, and there's this trend that's going on the sidewalk. They put these flexible poles that have an archway that you walk through. A lot of neighbors have that.
Huh.
I don't know if that's a current thing or
it's probably just a lot of white people in your neighborhood is probably what's up. White people love decorating for Christmas.
Sure.
It's their thing. It's middle class white people love decorating Christmas stuff. It's a thing for them. It's yeah.
Get anything cool?
I got a new pair of boots.
Nice.
A bottle of scotch.
Nice.
Thank you, by the way.
You have to share it, but okay, I'm willing to, have some.
I mean, what am I gonna just drink a whole bottle of scotch by
like-
myself in my apartment?
like a song to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
You drink other whiskeys.
isn't that the point of like whiskey? Like to share with other people? Like
Sometimes
that's the point.
you want to drown your sorrows.
Sure, I do that plenty at home, but I don't have to have nice whiskey to do that. It's like an amplifier to good company and cigars. So it's like, I do that mostly with you, and
Yeah.
don't really want to sit and I don't really want to sit with anyone long enough to have a glass of whiskey with them. Like like last bottle I gave Dave Rapson. I was like, yeah, here you go away.
You don't want to
Have some Macallan and fuck off.
okay.
I mean, I like House Cat, whatever, but he had to sit outside, so.
Oh.
Yeah, he saw it tonight. I said, "Oh, you have some whiskey?" I'm like, "Not yet." He was like, "Oh, okay."
Not with you.
Not with you. Well, what are we talking? Are we talking D&D? We are nerds. Fuck off.
Go away.
What about you? You get any fun presents?
Got this cool jacket.
I couldn't tell if it's a jacket or a shirt. It's kind of like the military shirt that I have.
Like a hunting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I'm digging it so far.
Jacket off.
No.
It's a hunting jacket. Is that why it has like a deer or elk or whatever that is on it?
Whitetail. Just want to eat them up.
Did you want a hunting jacket? Or
Yeah, I asked for this one. That's the nice thing about my family. Like, tell me what you want. Okay, we're gonna get what you want, and that's fine. No surprises in general.
I mean,
I do like the it's like an annual thing of getting like new socks and boxers, and it's awesome because I guess it's like a tradition for me. Just like throw all my other stuff away and just put that new stuff in.
Yeah.
12 months later, I'll get a new pair of socks.
Yeah, I just do that periodically. Like, time to throw all my socks out, get new ones.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, I set up the system where it's like 6 pairs of white socks, 6 pairs of black socks, and you're done for the year.
All the white socks I buy fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but like I got like these Dickies socks. I just got them to wear with dress shoes and shit. And they're black. They're not dress socks, but whatever. They're black.
Yeah.
And like I just find myself wearing those all the time instead of the white socks I have, which fucking fall down and they get like all like strangely enough. Like normally my problem with black socks is the same problem with black towels is that their absorbency fucking sucks.
It's all loaded with dye.
Yeah, and so like your feet, like I wear boots especially, it's like your feet kind of sweat a little bit all day and you don't want your socks to feel like they're just fucking soaked, right? Like absorbed like some of, but like these socks, even though they're black, like they're more absorbent than white socks.
Oh, really?
That I have. I think it's just because they're nicer socks, because they're Dickies and not Hanes or whatever I buy.
Yeah, because I buy like the Dickies like boot socks.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're great socks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just use those. Like I have some. Well, these are just crew socks, but I have the boot socks too. Those things are like fucking super warm.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
I can dig it.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because this year, Diana gave me my present. She was like, "Hey, yeah," and I was like, "Whatever." And the funny thing was, like, she got the present while I was asleep.
Oh.
Came to the door or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, I don't really have anywhere to put this or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, but I was asleep. You could have just wrapped it and put it under the tree, Like,
do you really want that? Do you really need that?
No, I don't. But she just acted like she had no other option. It was like, but I wasn't there. Like, you could have, And she was like, "Oh, you got something from Everlane too." I'm like, "Oh, that's your present." So I opened it and like she got me some boots. And so I was like, "Oh, you're gonna laugh." And so she opens it. I got her shoes. So it was like an exchange of footwear this year.
Yeah.
Like that was the presents we got each other. It was like footwear. Apparently both intuited that it was a footwear kind of year. So that was funny, which I get.
Yeah, speaking of like parallel thinking, I was like wrapping up gifts, doing all this. I'm really bad at doing it. And I'm like, why the fuck am I so bad at this? It's like I can make tons of stuff, right? Very complicated things, but I can't wrap a gift. And all of a sudden I see all these posts on Reddit. It's like, I'm a fucking like a space engineer. I can't even fucking wrap a present. This is bullshit.
I don't get that. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
You just measure out double the width of the thing and double the other side.
I think it's more of like
three pieces of tape.
I think it's because my mom's really good at wrapping gifts. It's like really fancy. So like compared to that, like this looks like trash.
I mean, it should just. I don't know how it can be really fancy. It just either is wrapped correctly or it isn't.
There's like fancy folds, 3 folded things.
Oh.
All kind of fancy.
I mean, I just do pretty basic I mean, for the most part, I just put stuff in gift bags now. I don't really have much of a need to wrap shit anymore.
And it can be useful to have a gift bag.
Yeah, that's what's good, is that's part of the present, right? You just like give someone, they're like, oh, now they have a gift bag for something else. I was explaining this to Diana. She was like, oh, I should get this gift bag for Kylie's thing. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, don't get a Christmas one. And she's like, what do you mean, why not? I'm like, because you're going to give her the gift bag, and she's going to have the gift bag.
Yeah.
But you don't want her to only be able to use the gift bag for Christmas. So just get something that's like, you know, maybe kind of can work as something Christmas, but isn't specifically Christmas colored. Or if it is, it's just one solid color. It's like red or green. But don't get something like snowman and Santa Claus and shit on it. Like, just get something that's normal so she can use. She's like, yeah, I never thought about that before. I was like, yeah, well, when you get a gift bag, don't you're like, haha, I got an extra gift bag now. It's like part of the present. It's like, yeah, it's pretty nice. It's like a thing that I have. So it's like we're just always rotating among everyone. Like,
Didn't
just
I get this back from you like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Came back to me, I'm so giving back to you.
Exactly. So you just kind of have the bags.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was good. I mean, she seemed to like her present. She had to return it though because I got the wrong size shoes because apparently I don't fucking know anything about anything, and so it went out better than the birthday present fiasco did though. So she's like, I just ended up like. She's got refunded for it. That she just ended up getting herself like some jewelry or something. I was like, there you go, happy birthday. You got the thing that, and the irony of that too is that, so she wanted to go into Kendra Scott because they do this thing where it's a jewelry place. They do this thing where it's if your month of your birthday, you get like a certain percent off, 10 or 15% or whatever. Cool. And so she knows the manager at Kendra Scott over in Santana Row, so we stopped in there. She was looking around and like she found some things that she wanted. She was like, "Oh, I really like this thing. It's called a signet ring. I don't really know what that is." And I'm like, "Oh, it's like an old timey thing." You know,
you got a wax seal to put your signet ring.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
I was explaining this to her. She's like, "I don't know. I just like the ring." I was like, "Okay, that's cool," but they couldn't resize it, and it didn't come in her size. Like they don't make sizes. Like in
Women
her,
typically don't wear signet rings though. It's usually a male thing.
It's like a thing now.
Oh.
It's like in vogue right now, and they're
Women
not
wearing pants now. What the fuck?
Yeah. So she got it like monogrammed with her like initial on it and everything. And
badass bitch.
Yeah. And so it was funny because I was like, oh yeah, that looks pretty good, and she like gravitated toward it. And then she was like, "Oh, they don't make my size at Kendra Scott, and they won't custom size it." And so she decided not to get anything. So then she goes home, she gets on the internet, and she's like, "Oh, Majuri has a signet ring, and it comes in my size." She's like, "I think I'm gonna order it." And then so she orders it, and it comes, and she's all happy with it. And I was like, "You know what's funny?" She's like, "What?" I was like, "Before I decided to get you the book, like I was looking on Majuri, and I was like, this signet ring is pretty cool. Like maybe she would like that." And I opted not to get it for you. Like specifically that thing that you ended up ordering was almost the thing I got you, but I was just like, I just don't want to I got her jewelry for whatever the previous holiday was, our anniversary. And so I was like, I just want to get her jewelry back to back, try to think something. And then she just ended up getting the thing that I was going to get her anyway. And my gift just fucked up.
I thought of it. I was gonna.
Yeah. But whatever. She's pleased. That's all that matters. So, yeah, that was a thing. But so I got some new socks. Got a new jacket. That's cool.
Got some Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, nice. Didn't you already have Bluetooth headphones?
Not over like a headphones.
Oh,
not earbuds.
Like cans. Oh, I never see you wearing those.
Which ones?
I don't know. Like these kind of headset.
Usually at work I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You got more than I did.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you got more family than I do, I guess.
Well, I have family here in the immediate area, so that
no, it wouldn't matter if my family were here. I would have gotten the same amount of presents whether they were here.
Would you even visit them?
If I had an occasion to, but
Xmas.
Yeah, probably not for Christmas. I don't. Here's my attitude, man: is I want to spend money to go travel somewhere. I just assume travel.
No, that's what I'm saying. If they're
been.
local, will you be willing to go visit?
Oh, like if they were only like an hour away or something. Certainly not every year. Maybe occasionally. But no, I really enjoy just not having to work and getting to eat pizza rolls and watch the Three Stooges. Like that's
pretty good.
That's like my fucking just sit in my pajamas until 4 p.m. And
it's like that meme. Like, you got any plans this week? Yeah, I got lots of plans. Just a blanket pizza rolls. We talked about this last week, probably.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It's
Yeah.
like that's, just get up whenever I want. I slept till fucking like 1 o'clock today or something.
Oh yeah.
Got up, I had some coffee.
I was trying to sleep because I was off since Wednesday, and it's a struggle for me to stay sleep. It's like take a piss and like, oh, God damn it, I just want to go to sleep again. Nope, will not happen.
Yeah, that's weird. Because I got up, I had a cup of coffee, watched that episode of Raised by Wolves, watched the Three Stooges, ate some pizza rolls, ate a lemon bar, took a shower, came down here. That was it. That was all I fucking did.
It sounds like an awesome time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that Louis C.K. bit where he's talking about, like, you ever talk to somebody in their 20s and you ask them what they did? What did you do today? And they're just like, I didn't fucking do anything. But if you talk to somebody in their 30s or 40s, like, hey, what'd you do today? And they say that they did nothing, they sound happy. They're like, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything today. It's like, they're just like super happy about it.
3 days is about my limit for that.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, it's like, no, I feel like a piece of shit. Better go do something.
Yeah, I think it depends too. Like if I break it up, like I came down here tonight, so I had occasion to put on some pants, and like had some light social interaction with people, drank some whiskey. It's like, okay, so now I can go home and like spend some time with my old lady, go to work tomorrow. But then like, by tomorrow night, like I'll be ready just to fucking veg out again.
Yeah.
Like, so, but like, yeah, I can only do that for like a few days at a stretch, and then it's like, I gotta fucking get busy with something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Something.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next section.
All right.
Good news, everyone.
Got some news for me, buddy?
Did you hear about this guy in oh god, where was it? Rio Raquel or something? Somewhere here in Northern California, some small town. This guy decided he was gonna like dress up as Santa.
Okay.
He had like a jetpack or something.
Okay.
Or like something that like, and he got caught in these fucking power lines.
Oh, what?
He was trying to drop off candy canes to like some kids or some shit, and he got fucking caught. He got caught up in these power lines. Like, and they had all these houses and shit while the fire department got him down. I like stories like that because
I'll teach you.
They ruin the sense of wonder and magic surrounding Christmas.
Oh my god, he was murdered.
No,
Kids, you killed Santa.
No, that would have been better. He just gruesomely met like some sort of electrocution death or something. That would have been better, but yeah, that was really the long and short of that story. But it was like
Christmas canceled.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Santa. Like, Santa doesn't know how to navigate power lines.
That's pretty savage.
No, yeah. Also, on a similar note, we were talking about the monoliths last week.
A couple weeks ago.
I guess somebody put up a gingerbread monolith up near San Francisco. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Apparently.
Did a whole bunch of homeless people piss on it?
I didn't read anything into that effect. Just so much that it was like someone spotted it and they weren't sure like how edible it was, but according to people, like it had frosting on it and it smelled like gingerbread. It was just like a 7 foot tall fucking like gingerbread monolith. So that was festive, I guess.
I think like gingerbread men, they're like living in a gingerbread house, like a house made of their flesh. Like that's cool.
It's like that old episode of Treehouse of Horrors and The Simpsons, and they do the Hansel and Gretel witch.
I do remember it. I don't remember the details.
It's a pretty good episode, but they're like Bart and Lisa get captured by the witch. Lives in the gingerbread house, and they're teasing her. They're like, "Wow, it's really sad. Like, just to get some company in here, you gotta like capture little kids and stuff, huh?" And she's like, "What are you talking about? Get company?" She's like, "Yeah, well, you're obviously pretty lonely." She's like, "Well, I have a boyfriend," and she's like, "Oh yeah, what's his name?" Right? And she's like, "George Cauldron. His name is George Cauldron." "Oh yeah, yeah, he's my boyfriend." "Anyway, why do you gotta capture kids? Don't you live in a gingerbread house?" She's like, "It's shelter or it's food. It's not both." And then later in the episode, like she's getting ready to cook them or whatever, and they throw her in the oven, and they throw her in the oven and she's like burning, and there's like a knock on the door and they're like, "Oh my god." They go up to the door and they're like, "Hello, I'm George Cauldron. Is Suzanne ready yet?" And they're like, "Ready? About 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, you.
Yep. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was funny. But yeah, it wasn't really much more substance to the story other than gingerbread monolith, which something supposedly weird and ominous, and now something weird and festive.
Now it's a meme.
Now it's a meme. But a similar food-related note. Apparently, China, ever the hub of weirdness, especially in food item things,
Okay.
just put out a Spam and crumbled Oreo burger at McDonald's.
Why you gotta ruin Spam, bro? And Oreos. You don't need both.
Apparently, it's like some sort of like members only fucking like specialty or some shit. It's like, really? Like fucking Oreos and Spam.
Remember Japan made an all black, or it was Burger King. They made an all black burger.
Yeah, squid ink burger.
Yeah, and make you shit out green.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What was the point of that?
I don't know. It's hella metal.
Yeah, it's pretty metal.
It's like those all black roosters. Super metal. Like everything's black.
Yeah, black burger though. That doesn't sound like. Why would that be a thing you wanted?
I don't know.
That's really weird. But yeah, squid ink. But yeah, like fucking apparently like they'll just do any. There's just so many fucking people over there in Asia in general.
Yeah.
That they could just make anything, and there's just like enough of a market to like support it. Like just because even if only like 0.0001% of people like get this food item, there are fucking like just 1 billion people in China alone.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's enough to like make it viable.
Yeah, I guess.
Oreos and Spam, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe if it had just been Spam, I could have been like, oh, okay. It's got mayonnaise and Oreos and fucking Spam on it.
Wait, okay. So, is it like Spam in a can, or is it like it's a dish? You have to make. They make. Like the Spam company makes Oreos and Spam.
No. It's like they get the Spam from Hormel, who is the company that owns Spam. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if they get it from a can or if it's like frozen patties of Spam. I don't imagine it matters much. And then they just get the Oreos from Nabisco. It's Oreos, I think.
Yeah, Nabisco.
Mm-hmm. And so they just crumble them up. They put mayo on it, and they just give it to your savage ass because you'll eat anything, Asia. You'll just fucking eat. You're just so happy to have like a steady
protein
thing of protein that you'll just eat fucking whatever. Just catfish burgers or fucking rats.
I'm pretty sure like Asian countries like they'll fry anything and eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same thing, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, just fry it up for Americans. They'll like it.
Well, we pretty much do deep fry everything.
Yep.
So, and mostly there's no objections to that because it just tastes like fat. So it's like, okay.
Tastes like freedom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think all deep fried stuff is good, but like I don't go to people like calamari. It tastes weird to me.
I love calamari.
It tastes weird.
It's good when it's cooked right. That's the problem. Because if they overcook it, now it gets all rubbery. Now you're eating a whole bunch of like rubber bands.
Yeah, that's mostly what it tastes like to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had it not like deep fried. So maybe that's why.
Oh, calamari not deep fried?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've never had not deep fried calamari.
Oh, not deep. Okay, yeah.
I've only had deep fried calamari. That's another way to say that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it tastes like otherwise. It's like, oh, you crunch into it. It's kind of like the same way I feel about onion rings. It's like you crunch into it, it's like, and then it's like this big slimy fucking onion. Gross. It's got like this onion slime all. Like I don't mind onion rings if they're like minced up. If it's minced up onion.
A bloomin' onion.
Bloomin', like a awesome blossom sort of situation.
Yeah. It's like the.
I'm not into it.
Well, okay. I don't know. I never had one.
It just tastes like onions.
Bloomin' onion.
Bloomin'.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got for news. So I thought that was
it?
weird thing. Well, yeah, it was 3 things. I got 3 things.
Yeah, better than me. 0.
Yeah, so I don't know. There wasn't a lot of context to any of them. They weren't really. They were more just weird and odd than they
weird,
were.
wacky news.
There's more Trump money coming in. That's what you said.
Apparently not.
No.
not anytime soon. Let's say that. Trump is like, will not $2,000, $600 is appalling. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you're right. But it kind of sucks that you were just like, at the 11th hour, like, nope, I'm not going to sign it. Not going to sign it into the bill.
He doesn't want to degrade the value of his autographs after he's out of office.
No more Trump bucks.
Yeah, because the more stuff he signs, the more it's like he's trying to keep that signature a hot commodity. You can sign all those "tread on me, daddy" flags or whatever.
Stop the vote! Don't tread on me. Tread on me now.
Yeah.
I wish I could find that. That's like all lost in Reddit now. I can't find that picture anymore.
The internet just swallows things up after a minute. It's like I was trying to find something the other day. What the fuck was it? It was something that I saw a while ago. I was like, man, where the fuck was that? This shit was so funny. Like I could not find it for the life of me. It's like, oh, it's just gone into the internet ether. But whatever.
So let's go into cigar. Okay, wait, hold on. I got a bumper on that one.
I like turtles.
Oh, okay.
What cigar do you like right now? What are you smoking right now?
I'm smoking that new AJ Fernandez.
Yeah.
That Ass Job Fernandez.
Ass Job Fernandez.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of smoking the same thing.
Are we kind of smoking the same thing, or is that what you're smoking?
That's what I'm smoking.
Oh, okay. We're smoking the same thing.
Okay.
We're not kind of smoking the same thing. We are smoking the same thing. Anyway, what do you think?
Started off really good. But I think it's just ship sick. It's just like a whole bunch of metallic flavor to it right now.
See, to me, it just kind of flattened out about the midpoint. I was like, this is gonna be good. Kind of interesting, more nuanced than a Maduro than I would have thought it would have been. A little more extra.
Yeah, kind of, and like the beginning had like more. It tasted more like the Solitano, the Requiem. In the beginning, like a little bit more punch to it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be really good.
Yeah, but it had kind of like this brown sugar note to it that was in the background too. That it was like it had some like spice, but I think that's what I liked about it is it was like on the finish it was like this kind of like molassesy, almost like brown sugar, and it kind of, but then that kind of just went away after like the first third, and now it's just
kind of the same.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if it like sits out for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, I haven't really got to the back half of the cigar, but it doesn't taste sick to me. Like,
yeah, it just needs to marinate a little bit more for me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet it will age well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had some super limited Partagas in my locker at Aloni that I was gonna smoke today, and I forgot to grab it. But I think I'll probably just smoke it at work tomorrow. Some guy gave it to me, and he was just talking about how it was like the fucking best cigar he ever smoked.
I'll be the judge of that.
He was like, so fucking good, dude. Like, I didn't think it would be like all that good. I was like, it was pretty fucking good, and it was like it's like one of the best cigars I ever smoked. And
Cuban,
I was like,
non-Cuban.
Non-Cuban. And I was like, really? I was like, a non-Cuban Partagas, and you're raving? I was like, it was pretty fucking good. I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'll take your word for it, I guess. Thanks. He gave it to me for pretty much no reason, just because I was there, which was nice of him. But I got some free cigars at Aloni too. We had a Drew Estate event, and then got some Christmas cigars from the manager, so that was nice of him. Nice. Cheers to you, Jeb.
Hey.
So yeah, I was like, oh hey, it was a little fucking one of those tins that they have, like when you get for events. Like there was like the Ratzilla tin a year or two ago, and so it was like one of those, but it was like lunchbox. It was like one of those for like the Underground Shade. It was like Shade for Days is what it was called.
I don't like their marketing.
No, and it was like, and it had this thing that was like, it's like a bag. From what I can tell, it's like a travel beer cooler to take to the beach with you.
Okay.
And you put ice and beer in it and stuff, but like it's probably just like a good overnight bag too, or whatever.
Sure.
And then I had like one of those like weird like bucket fisherman hats that like, and that was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And it was like a COVID mask / bandana thing, like it's like a thing you could wear as a bandana or a mask.
Oh, gator.
A what?
A gator? The thing that goes around your neck? It's a tube?
Yeah, it's a tube.
Yeah, it's a gator.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, one of those, and then like a portable battery charger. That was kind of neat.
That's cool.
And then this whiskey glass too, so that was pretty cool. I needed a whiskey glass, so that was nice.
Man, at least it's not like super gaudy looking.
No, I actually like the Undercrown / Liga logo. I think it's
just everything else around Drew Estate I'm not really a fan of.
Yeah, but like when I just see like the Liga lighter, or this has just got the little lion head with the crown on the bottom, and it's just a black thing. It looks pretty clean.
I was looking on Instagram, like the people are really into Liga. Like, what do you have to do to get one of those like medallions or the rings, like the gaudy ass rings?
I think they just sell them, don't
look
they?
Like a fucking magician.
Oh, we had part of the I think they're giveaway stuff because we had these rose gold Liga fucking like cufflinks as part of the giveaway. They, they were like ugly as fuck, man. They were just like.
Well, all the bros like, yeah, I want some of that.
Yeah, kind of bros, people that like
Still wearing trucker hats.
the dandies,
Okay.
people that like have like some jiggy belt buckle and like all that. And
Yeah,
stuff.
they look like magicians.
Yeah. Look like Job from fucking Arrested Development or whatever. Yeah.
Job?
Yeah.
They're illusions, Michael.
Tricks are for hookers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I got some free stuff there. That was nice. Free stuff is always nice, especially in the cigar arena. So that's fun. Mm-hmm. But
got any like interesting like Christmas store, like working at a cigar shop, you get your influx of people coming at this time of the year, and I imagine some point like closer to New Year's you're gonna get a big influx. You have any cool stories?
No, but like I was telling you, I don't really have any like specific stories. But like I was telling you the other day. Oh, hello.
Hey,
man. Like the holidays are always a good time to like get people that don't normally come into cigar shops, and so you get like attractive ladies sometimes, and it's like it's just like a nice little treat. You just get like an attractive woman coming in, and like so you
I'm
drag
buying for my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like okay,
nope, buying for my dad, and I have all these questions and I don't know anything. I was like, you know what? That's fine. You ask as many questions as you want. Just take your time. I'm here to help.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah. It's like anyone else, I'm like, oh my God, why are you taking so long to pick a cigar? Get one and get the fuck out of here, right?
Get away.
Go, leave me alone. I was reading. But like she comes in, she's like, oh hi, you're so helpful. I was like, you own a mirror, don't you? Like surely I'm not the first guy to be nice to you.
All these guys are so nice to me.
Yeah, it's what's funny is it's like I've heard that.
Imagine if you like walk into a gay bar, you didn't know it was a gay bar. Like all these guys are really nice to me, really helpful. I like this place.
Don't you? I'm sure you've known women before that are like, like everybody's just like so nice around here, and you just want to like be like, really? You just don't realize why everyone is so nice to you. It's not that everyone is nice. Everyone is nice to you because you are an attractive woman, and people are just nice to attractive women because, well, why wouldn't we be?
Yeah, I haven't had anybody say that out loud, but I've been in the vicinity and like, oh, this is weird. Like. Walked with this like a very attractive woman, and everyone's super nice. Like every day is like fucking roses for them. Like everyone just.
Well, yeah,
likes
I mean,
them.
it's no wonder that like generally speaking, women have a cheerier disposition. Attractive women, especially, have a cheerier disposition than men. They just walk around in this cloud of like people treating them nicely, and they just think that's how the world is. And it's like. Yeah, try being like a fat, like middle-aged white guy with a receding hairline and see how cheery your disposition is. Everyone just treats you like just fuck off and like do your job, asshole, and get out of my hair.
Or you're just invisible.
Yeah, and so it's like that's why it's always really funny when you meet some gal and she's like 20 years old and she's really pretty and she has like kind of a pissy disposition and you're like, seriously, like wow, that's impressive. Like you must just I don't know what your deal is, but
everyone's fucking fake. Yeah, fake news.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I tend to like people like that. A little bit of attitude. It's like, all right, well, at least you're acknowledging that there's something else going on other than just like how you're treated. Like a puppy thinks everybody the world is wonderful too. So everyone likes puppies.
Yeah,
you treat them really nicely and give them snacks and stuff. But,
hey, good buddy.
Yeah. Try being like some mangy looking mutt on the street that looks like it might give you typhus or something.
Yeah.
And that dog's probably a little more aggressive. And so he's pretty cool, You'd be nice to him and he'll be like, oh man, you're my favorite.
Yeah.
You're the best person ever.
Yeah, so far for me it's been pretty easy. Like had a lot of customers like, yeah, I just whatever. Just I need 5 cigars and this is my budget. Like, how about these? Yeah, whatever. I'm like, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
So like I have to give them fucking breakdowns of all the cigars and this. Like, are you smoking it or are you gonna like buy it for someone else? I've had that. Like they want the breakdown for everything. Like, but you're not smoking it though, right? So,
yeah, I realized that I was doing that with some gal that was like, hey, I just need some recommendations, and I was kind of telling her, oh, this one kind of tastes like this, and this one tastes like. And I looked over at her face, and she was kind of was like, this is just too much information for you, isn't it? Like you don't care about any of this. You're not smoking it. You just want me to pick something, right? And she's like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, okay.
It's like going to a steakhouse. Like, okay, today you're having Bill. Bill was a 2-year-old calf, and he had a happy life. Yeah. He enjoyed grass and hanging out and doing all the cool things.
No, it was kind of weird though because I got this gal come in last week, and she was like, and this was part of like, she was being a little insufferable because she was in the humidor for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And she was just like asking me every question under the sun. But like she actually is a cigar smoker.
Oh,
like
okay.
she's like just getting into smoking cigars, so she had all these questions. And like there was like just like a line building up behind her. She was like 5 or 6 people in line behind her, and I was like, yeah, what am I gonna do? But I just assume people don't really want you up in their hair. I was like, okay, so I kind of gave her the lay of the land. And then I came back in a couple times, see if she was doing okay. And she's had like this slew of questions. She like kept talking at me. And I was like, okay, like I'm happy to talk to you about cigars, but I don't really know what this is doing for you. Like, but yeah, that was peculiar to me because I'm not used to, like, especially I'm not used to like young, attractive women, like, being cigar smokers and being interested in like learning about cigars. Like usually maybe like most women that smoke cigars are not young or attractive. They're usually just like old leather-faced crones. And like
okay.
Don't you notice this? Like how many like young attractive, and by young I'm not even like saying like just say under 45.
For here at this shop I would say about half.
About half of the women?
Yeah, half of the women that come in are probably under
45. And how many of them are like mildly good looking?
Probably half of those.
So let's call it a quarter of them.
Yeah.
That seems even generous to me. And do you find that they're actually like cigar smokers, or they're just like they want to smoke a cigar because it's like something that they're doing, and like actually like looking to like learn about like different things?
For the most part, they are getting into cigars. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, that's not from my experience. I don't notice a lot of that. It's usually like a weird thing. It's like, oh, you actually like care about this stuff? Like, because I don't talk cigars at women because I just assume they don't care. You know, they talk to me about fashion or something. Like, I don't want to listen to that. Like, it's like I'm not interested.
Let me talk to you about my nightly skincare routine.
Yeah, I just like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like when gals are stylish and are thoughtful about they look nice, and I like all that, but like I don't need to know about like the inner workings, you know. It's just like I assume like maybe a gal's like, oh, like you smoke cigars, it's like a really guy thing to do. You drink whiskey and you smoke cigars.
One of the boys.
That's a guy thing to do, and that's cool. That's what guys do, but they don't want to hear about it. They don't want you to talk to them about it in any like in-depth way. At least I wouldn't assume.
No, I'm okay with it.
Like, you're okay. You assume that women do want to hear about the things that are like...
No, if they were to talk to me about cigars, like, oh, I'll talk cigars with you.
No, I will, absolutely. But it's not like, to me, it would be kind of like, I wouldn't be inclined to like have
if I'm working, like, of course they're here to talk. Like, either I get the impression that they're here to buy it and just leave, or they're really interested in it, right? Depending on how they approach it. But in general, I'm like kind of just, I'll wait till I get a prompt to do that.
Yeah, and I'm saying that generally speaking, I don't get a lot of prompts. Usually like a few questions here or there, but it's not like, let me engage you in a conversation about this. So we can talk about all the things about cigar smoking that, like, you know, if I wasn't me and wasn't interested in it, I would just find it incredibly boring. It's incredibly boring.
Yeah.
To like, it's like, I mean, do you find yourself, like, if someone were not into machining, like, hey man, let me talk to you about machining, like, they don't know anything about it and they're not interested in like getting into it, you would just find like yourself being like, you probably don't want to hear about this.
No one wants to hear that.
No, some
not
people
even
do.
Dudes.
Some people do if they're into it.
Yeah, they'll ask me, like, tell me about machining. Okay, I'll tell you about some machining stuff.
Yeah. It's like this, and I just like switch the little thing over like this.
Knob
you can't
over
go
here,
12 degrees and 13 degrees is a big difference.
Yeah. Well, that's because I'm like really into very niche things. So for me, I have to like temper it all the time.
And I think cigar smoking is a very niche thing.
Yeah, but you don't like, for the things that I'm interested in, there's no place that you go to, like a cigar shop, to talk shop about these things. Either
a machine shop, just talk about it at work.
Well, that's work. No one wants to talk about.
They don't have like machinist conventions or anything.
No, well, they have trade shows.
You don't go to any of those and shop with the people there.
I don't buy stuff.
Ah.
So
you can just go as a civilian. It's just like the people that go to like trade shows, they buy tickets to go, and they're just like,
yeah, because they want free shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, pretty much the vendors are pretty much wise to that. Like, I'll talk shop with you, but you're not getting any free cigars because you're not gonna buy anything.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
You go to a machine shop. It's like, hey man, like, hey, you want a brick of aluminum? Check out this new brick of aluminum. Fuck yeah, looks really good.
Well, sometimes you get really like if you go to a trade show, they'll have like samples that the machine made. Sometimes they're really cool, like it's like laser cut items or whatever, really fancy stuff.
Laser.
Thank you. What are we drinking today? What kind of dram are you pouring me today, sir?
The Macallan 12.
Ooh, tasty.
Mikey,
Double cask.
Yeah, Mikey got it for me for Christmas. Happy Christmas to us both.
Oh yeah. Clink.
Good stuff. Oh, a little splash in it.
How's it taste, motherfucker?
Delicious. Like deliciousness. It's the medicine.
I got the medicine you need, Charlie Buffett.
It's good. Doing short pours because I could just fill it all the way up to the top of this fucking glass.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna drink all of it anyway.
Yeah, but I realize I realize when the glass is full, I drink it faster.
Oh yeah.
Like when I get down to like the last like little bit, I kind of
baby.
I kind of savor it, you know. But like when it's full, I'm just like, fuck, it's open field, bro. Speaking of which, I already ate all those fucking those big mamas. That was me trying to savor them. What's it been, like a week?
Oh.
It was me savoring
I was
them.
actually surprised that you didn't open the box when I brought it to you that one time.
I was savoring it. I was like, how many are in here? 6. I was like, all right, I gotta savor these. Savor these. I'm gonna start looking for them and say, what aisle is that shit in?
Where the jerky is, jerky and nuts.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look because I swear I've never seen them at like. I think you like because you said the same thing about they have the Korean spicy noodles.
They're everywhere now.
Not the Safeways I go to.
They're everywhere. They're even at the Safeway.
Nope.
7-Eleven even has it.
Not at the Safeway I go to. They don't fucking have them.
Yeah,
they had it. They had them one time, and they were just like, I was like, oh hey, cool. And it was the weird like soup ones.
Yeah,
and I was like, whatever, I'll get these. Fine. But yeah, like I can't find them anymore. It's like the same thing. You go to like, maybe it's like my side of town, the Safeway on the way home from here, and the one over close to my house. They don't have them. They do have Grillo's pickles occasionally.
Yeah, I had Grillo's at my local Safeway.
That's how you know how fucking good Grillo's are, man. It's just like I remember when COVID first hit. I went over to the fucking. I was like, ooh, I got some Grillo's pickles, and they have like 2 facings of the regular and 2 facings of the spicy, which are both like 8 or 9 jars deep, or they're plastic things, so I don't know if you count them as jars, but containers.
Sure.
Which Grillo's, get on your fucking container game, man, because those containers suck. There's no way to open them without sloshing damn pickle juice all over the place. And then you gotta like...
Well, you don't want like air in there, and that's gonna ruin the pickle.
Yeah, but there's just no like good way to like open it without sloshing pickle juice all over the place. And
then
then
like a tab, like to pour it out and then close it, and then you can open it.
With something, I don't know, something. You gotta do something because it's really hard. Because it's like I spill it, and then I gotta get the paper towel and like soak it up, and then like wring that paper towel into my mouth. It's like a big thing. And so I'm not trying to waste a drop.
It's like a ghetto Gatorade.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I love drink that shit straight.
Yeah.
It's delicious, refreshing.
That can be.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But no, like when COVID first hit, I go over to the pickle section, so it's like they just have like those 4 facings of Grillo's, and then there's like Vlasic, and what's the other big pickle brand?
Oh, Vlasic's the only one I know of.
There's like another one that's like a main pickle brand, and there's like fucking 4 different types of varieties and like 2 different facings each, so like 25 facings of pickles. Right? And I go there like shortly after COVID hits, and like all that Vlasic stuff is full up to the front, and the Grillo shit just all I can see is like the cooler behind it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, people know what's up over here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're gonna get those stock up on those. So now every time I see them, I get 2. I'm
Yeah.
like getting 2.
I got woke on him because of Rogan. He kept on talking about.
I think by proxy I did, because my uncle really likes them, and I think he probably heard about them from Rogan. But like, yeah, he was just like, because he's a big pickle guy. We're both big pickle guys. Who love pickles.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh man, have you had fucking Grillo's pickles yet?" And I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" I was at his house in Chicago. I was like, "Here, eat this." And I'm like, They make spicy ones too. I was like,
all right.
those are probably better than these, and I can't even imagine what that would be like. It's like, they're pretty good. It's like it's like eating one of like when you open a box of cigars and there's like an odd count and there's that like wooden block. It's like just biting into one of those. It's like crazy.
That makes a difference. That's the reason why, because they kind of ship them fresh or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know what it is. They got good crunch because they're a good size and they're. And then they put the whatever the brine they use is good.
Yeah,
and
it's all the bits and bobs in it.
I don't know what it is, but it's delicious. Yeah, it's like it's good. It's a good rate. That's the big thing is like trying to find how big to make a pickle spear based on how long you're brining it. So if you make it too big, then it won't brine fast enough, and
it's gonna be all raw.
It'll be fucking cucumbery, and that's like not good. But if you make it too small, like it's all flaccid and gross. Yeah. So it's like you got to find the right shape that you can like replicate well. Yeah. And it's like Vlasic has that crunch. I was like, you got Grillo? Grillo's got that crunch. Yeah. It's like audible from across the room. Oh, you eating Grillos over there? Yeah.
It's like eating a pork rind, basically.
Yes. I love pork rinds too.
Pork rinds are good.
I don't have much preference on brand of pork rinds though. Pork rinds all kind of taste the same to me.
There's some stuff from Costco that's really good, but I don't have a Costco card. I just go to homes where they have Costco cards and I eat there.
But I've never gotten a pork rind and been disappointed in how it tasted.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's just like they're all like tasty.
Yeah.
Across the board. That's a good thing. So you just get the cheapest ones you can. Usually it's like, oh, gourmet.
Yeah, and the best is when you go to like a Mexican like liquor store and they have the chicharrones. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll have some of these.
Yeah. The only difference I've noticed is that some of them are good, and so they'll have the ones that are really big in there. Yeah. And fluffy. Yeah. And then so you get the shitty ones that are just kind of like these little pigtailed knots that are all super crunchy and not as good.
I like a mix of them.
I like a mix, but like you want there's got to be at least a few of those really big ones in there.
It's like the size of your hand.
But that hot sauce. Or the ones that come with the hot sauce in the packet. Like here you go, right in the bag. It's got the hot sauce. You just squirt it in the bag and shake it up.
I do like the first couple out of the bag where like you squirt the sauce in the bag, but like after a while it gets all too soggy. Like, I'm not really into it now.
Well, that's why you need that. That's why like if there's the big pillowy ones, is they absorb more moisture. Yeah. Instead, like they absorb it instead of like coating it. But like a bag of pork rinds never lasts me long enough for them to get fucking soggy. It's just like
because I look at the bag serving for 4. Whose world?
Yeah.
Fucking starving children in Africa. Sure.
Yeah, it's 4 servings. It's like, dude, this is like fucking 20 minutes of a television show at best. It's like just.
Yeah, same thing with popcorn. Like this whole bag is like 4 servings. Is like, who are you kidding?
Yeah, I get crazy with popcorn and I doctor it all up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like one of those people. Like I like melt my own butter and I put hot sauce in the butter, and then like it gets all melted, and then I put like Parmesan cheese and like lemon pepper in the bag with the butter, and like I shake it up, and it's I get crazy.
I'm super basic. I just like it salted, a little bit of butter, and then some jalapenos.
That's good. You got me woke on that when we went to the movie theater. It was pretty good. But no, the Parmesan cheese is my jam on popcorn. Ooh. Parmesan cheese, a little bit of lemon pepper.
Shaky cheese or like fresh parm?
The powdered, like the shaky stuff is better because it clings to the popcorn better than the actual freshly grated. It's the same thing when you're making anything that has like you're breading chicken. Yeah. If you're doing like an Italian style chicken and you're breading it and it's got like breadcrumbs and Parmesan and oregano and stuff in it like that. Like using the freshly grated stuff, it doesn't grill up or doesn't fry up as crispy. So usually it's better just to have a little bit of the like
the shaky.
Yeah, the shit that's got all the anti-caking agent in it or whatever.
Like, sawdust.
Yeah. Fuck it is.
Oh, I forgot what is like either a cookie company or like a company that makes brownies. They got busted by, I think it's actually not in the U.S. I think it might be in Europe, where they clearly label it that has like sawdust in it, and people are all indignant about it. It's like, but I've had this in years. Why are you guys crying about it now? It's a plant product.
Yeah,
it just goes through your body. It's just fibrous.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with sawdust and stuff.
Yeah, it's like bran basically.
Yeah,
but just not as nutritious.
Yeah, it has basically no nutritional content other than just it's roughage.
It's like sandpaper growing through your guts.
Yeah,
it's clean that stuff.
It's good for you. Yeah, it scrubs you out.
Yeah.
Unlike those Big Mama sausages. It's like a fucking...
It's like cakes in your body. Why am I 20 pounds heavier now?
Yeah. No, actually, I'm still fucking losing weight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Since I got my teeth pulled, I have lost like 8 pounds.
Oh, wow. That is not my problem.
I'm down to 140 pounds today.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've been 140 pounds since I was like 25.
Oh.
And I'm not like trying to lose weight. Apparently I'm just not eating as much as I was. I think what it is that I'm not watching as much media.
Oh, okay.
And when I watch media, I stuff shit in my face.
Ah.
Right? Like I snack, or I'm like eating ramen or fucking ice cream sandwiches or something. Like I just like to stuff shit in my face when I'm consuming media. Mm-hmm. And when I'm like on the computer and I'm writing, working, or something like that, I'm not cramming my face full of shit. Mm-hmm. And so I just think I haven't been, like, I just cut those calories out to almost non-existent. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, well, you lose a few pounds, I guess. Wouldn't have thought that would have been a thing, but nope.
Let's segue into that. Have you been watching anything lately?
I've been watching His Dark Materials, this season 2.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I kind of was losing interest in it, but then it kind of got a little more interesting. It mirrors the second book in the trilogy, I guess, and they're only going to do 3 seasons from what I understand. So it's kind of cool. It's like kind of a pseudo fantasy. What is fantasy? But it's kind of in the same vein as maybe the C.S. Lewis stuff. Mm-hmm. But it has more of a. It's like the same side of that coin, because it's not like C.S. Lewis's stuff is like all like heavily infused with like Christian stuff, mm-hmm. and this is like the antithesis of that. So the main villain, I guess, in the series is this group from this other world called the Magisterium, and they're basically just like the Catholic Church, and so there's kind of this subtext of, you know, them as the Catholic Church, but I like that it's not really heavy-handed on like the allegories there. Mm-hmm. It does tend to kind of focus on the plot. The child acting in it is pretty good. There's a couple, like the main kids in it are pretty decent. It has that chick from whose name I never remember, but she plays Alice in Luther.
Never saw it. Or only saw one episode of Luther.
She's in the first episode.
Okay.
She plays Alice, and so she's in it, and she's pretty good. There's a few other people that are pretty good in it, but the plot picked up at the right time, because I was kind of starting to get a little bored with it, and I was like, and then it picked up, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I've been watching that. I've been trying to watch another episode of Raised by Wolves, and I feel like I watched some other movie this week, but I don't remember what it was, so it couldn't have been that good. Couldn't have been something I hadn't seen yet, or watched again and had an impression on me. But yeah, no, very little media content, no podcasting or like listening to podcasts or music or anything like that. It's just been. We did get a record player though.
Cool.
The old lady wanted a record player for like a long time.
Do you have any records?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll get some.
Mm.
Well, she was like, well, you think it's okay to get a record player without having any records? And I'm like, yeah, but you could make the same argument of getting records without a record player. It's like a chicken or the egg sort of situation. Yeah. It's like, you gotta get one first.
Yeah, now you can do the cool thing and go to the record store and just leaf through a whole bunch of stuff.
I think that's what she wants.
Yeah.
I think that's why she wanted a record player, because we passed by like when we were in LA especially, record stores are like all over the place. Yeah. And it's like, it's cool to go into record stores because they kind of have like that record store smell, and there's like some crusty old white guy behind the counter.
You should make like a day trip to San Francisco to go to Amoeba Records, because they have a lot of vinyl there, and you know, it's on Haight Street, so you can probably just hang out.
Yeah, yeah, it's but you know, I mean, we'll get some soon enough. But it's not to mention too, it's like I have a tendency to not listen to music at home because I don't know, I mean, I can put it on the TV or whatever, but like I feel like if we had a record player, I might be more inclined to like throw a record on while I was, you know. She was like decorating the tree and she put on Christmas music, and I was like, this would be the time to have the record player put on like the Bing Crosby. Yeah, no, you put on like the Bing Crosby Christmas album, decorate the tree.
Yeah.
You know, this was very pleasing for me to like observe like the Christmas music and the old lady decorating the tree. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. I don't know, something that did it for me.
Yeah. Yep, same in the boat with watching. Like I was saying last week, I was gonna have a watch list, TV watch list of things to watch. So I've been picking up on Raised by Wolves, Getting Weird. Still enjoyable though.
Getting weird, but still enjoyable.
Yeah. So into that, picked up on What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series.
I need to catch up on that. I watched like half of the first season.
It's
pretty fucking
it's
funny.
Pretty fucking good, which is surprising because you think a spin-off off of a movie would not do well, but they just hit the mark.
But Taika Waititi is still involved.
Yeah.
If he had no involvement, I would have been skeptical. I would have been like,
yeah,
this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it definitely feels like it builds out that world a little bit more. And I really like it. It's and especially I like it because the portrayal of what government meetings are like is unequivocally the most fucking accurate portrayal of the way government meetings are that I've ever seen.
Gotta give them a media dump right now.
Yeah, pretty good. But so like, yeah, how many is this second season is done now, right?
Yeah, I think they're on the third. I don't know because I'm only on the second season, so I know they have a. I don't know actually. Do they only have 2 seasons up? I don't know. Whatever.
I thought the second season just finished up.
Yeah, I might have.
And because I watched whatever we watched, like 6 or 7 episodes that night here with Bailey. Mm-hmm. Owe you a buck, Bailey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I watched those and I was like, it was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But it's like it's on Hulu, right?
Yeah.
And
Hulu
like
or FX or
it's another one of those things that I just don't have because I just don't have Hulu. So it's like, okay, it's fine. I'm not going to watch it because I don't have Hulu. But I have resolved that I am going to watch The Leftovers. I keep meaning to watch it. And then someone I know started to watch it and they said it was not that good. And then I was like, yeah, it's only a 28 episode run. Like, I'm going to watch it. It's like one of the most critically acclaimed shows ever.
That's on FX?
That's HBO.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you have it on HBO.
Oh.
But, yeah. The first season apparently is the weakest season, but still pretty critically acclaimed. Like, it's got pretty much universal acclaim across the board.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the best shows, arguably ever, which is a bold statement, but considering it was on the air at the same time. Considering it was on the air at the same time as Mad Men and Breaking Bad, which I still contest are 2 of the best shows ever made. That's a bold statement to make. It won all these awards for like best show of the year when like Breaking Bad was like in its 3rd season, Mad Men was like in its 3rd season. It's like
prime.
Okay, that's
a bold statement.
That's pretty fucking impressive that like you think that this show is better than like the mid run of either Mad Men or Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna catch up on that. Anyway, what else you been watching? Anything else?
Not so much watching, but playing. I'm about 4 hours into Cyberpunk 2077.
I was pretty disappointed that you said that the console version of that was buggy because, like, just based on your description, I was like, I'm gonna fucking buy that.
Dude, it shit is fucking fire, bro. It's all the markers for me. It's like open world adventure game, a lot of paths you can take, and it has like the aesthetic of like Blade Runner, but like taken through like a modern lens, like what we have today, and then projected out, right? So it's been good. I've been playing on testing out like Google Stadia on it. Cloud gaming is kind of, I think that's it for me, man. I'm not gonna build any more like gaming PCs or buy any consoles. Like, why bother? Like, it's the future's here already, so I'm not gonna bother doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about the technology. I was showing my brothers. He was playing for like 3 hours straight, no problems at all. So
yeah, I keep finding like it's the thing is I'd love to have like. So how does it compare to Fallout 4?
Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Right now I'm in the early stages. It's kind of on rails with the story because they're kind of funneling you into the storyline, I guess, and then you can branch off. So I can't really speak on like how open it is.
I just mean overall the playability, the aesthetic, the narrative, the graphics.
Yeah, it's a AAA title, so I can't really complain on that.
Cause like yeah, like I was into Fallout 4 like when it came out, and I thought I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be like on this game for forever. Mm-hmm. Same thing as that happened with Divinity 2. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I was into it for like a week or 2.
Yeah,
and like I haven't picked that game up in months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like from all the reviews that I've seen online, is that the main quest or the main storyline is very short. They said about 20 hours, but the replayability of the game is pretty high because you can go through different quests and do like along the same lines as like Fallout New Las Vegas or
New Vegas.
New Vegas, where your decisions early on do affect the later gameplay, from what I understand. So characters will treat you different if do certain actions and all that stuff. So I haven't seen that yet because I'm so early on in the game. So far so good. Oh, well, I'll show it to you after. Like, give you a little demo of it.
Oh yeah, I forget. You could just bring it up on your computer.
Play it anywhere, bro.
Play it anywhere.
That's so fucking awesome.
Did you kind of stall out on playing The Legend of Zelda then?
Yeah, because it's like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I don't know where to go because it's not really funneling me anywhere.
Well, that was part of the problem that I had with Fallout. Is it's like when you or Divinity 2, it's like I don't like to be railroaded super bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if it just goes and it just opens where you just have like so many quests, it's like fuck, man. Like now I can't even like pick a thing that I want to go do. It's like infinite possibility, and it's like it seems like if I have infinite possibility, then it's fun for me just to kind of wander around the world and discover stuff.
Yeah.
And then I do that, and then without any sense of purpose or drive, I just kind of get bored. And usually when I hit that point in the game, I kind of just
Like I'm out.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened was I was playing Divinity 2 to kind of scratch that D&D itch. And then we started actually playing D&D a little bit more frequently, more consistently, and then we started playing like, our sessions went from like 2 or 3 hours to like 3 or 4 hours, and then we started playing like, we went from playing like 2 or 3 hours a week to like, 6-8 hours a week. And so it kind of scratched that itch for me, and I was like, now I just like, okay, I'll just focus. When I want to scratch that itch, I just kind of like, prep for D&D and like make all that. That's just always been more engaging to me than like any video game is playing tabletop D&D. So I just kind of like, it's cool, but like, this Fallout thing, I was really into that game, and I was like, man, this is a really good game, and I was like all hyped on it when it first came out, but not enough to like get me coming back to it. My girlfriend just got it for her brother for I guess for PC for Christmas. It's like, what do you want? I guess it's only like on PC it's like $25 or $30 now.
That's the great thing about like PC games. They're super cheap. Like the prices fluctuate. So that's why I like PC games. So
I just can't do the.
Yeah, I can't either. I tried to play it on mouse and keyboard. Cyberpunk. The shooting is good, but everything else I can't fucking use it. I can't use it for driving when I need to like do all these other things like reload and do all this shit and bring up these fucking items. I can't. My brain.
There's just a long learning curve to it. Like I remember playing Quake.
Oh yeah.
Back when Quake was a big thing online, and if you don't like, it's called the M look, right? You use the mouse to like look. If you don't learn how to do that, you just will lose every fucking game, because the people that are good at it will just fucking annihilate you. They'll kill you like fucking instantly, because you just can't, like, your controller just doesn't react.
Oh, it's dog
fast.
shit.
Yeah, it's comparatively it sucks.
Yeah, because I switched over from like keyboard and mouse to controller like after an hour, just because I don't like the way it handles for certain things. And then I was like shooting. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is dog shit. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mouse look is the most superior way to use it. Like,
because it has a higher degree of.
It's more finite.
Yeah, sensitivity.
Yeah.
It's like got like great and so when you're used to a controller, you have a tendency to over and under correct. But like once you narrow in the compass, it's like I remember those fucking guys on Quake. It'd be like,
boom, headshot, no look, 360.
Not just that, they'd be up on an area above you, and they wouldn't be facing you, and they would come falling down, and they could turn around in midair and fucking headshot you before they hit the ground, and you're like from like fucking 3 clicks away. And you're just like, how do I fucking like compete with something like that?
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done with this. Play fucking Time Splitters or whatever.
Yeah, I'm really not into like twitchy games like shooters and all that stuff. I'm just like, I'm fine just being like a fucking gamey normie and play these like adventure games. That's what I like.
Yeah, me too. I used to like first person shooters up until Halo 2.
Yeah.
I used to play first person shooters. I really like Time Splitters and like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye and
oh yeah, GoldenEye's a classic.
yeah. Well, Perfect Dark is like the better version of GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It's like the second generation of that. And what was another one before Halo 2 came out? It was
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty wasn't out yet, I don't think. Call of
It's
Duty
probably
came
like
out, came out between I think Halo and Halo 2.
something like that.
And so it was like, but yeah, I was like, once they got to be like largely tactically oriented,
Yeah.
you know, I like to like run around, kind of shoot from the hip kind of fucking games,
Yeah.
like Quake and you know, Doom and shit like that. But yeah, like once it kind of went to that next level, like I was always moderately decent at those games to the point where like, you know, I could play with people and be, you know, fairly decent among my group of friends. And then, you know, if I played online, I would be like, you know, average to slightly below average. And that was fine. But then like when Halo 2 came out and like Xbox Live was a big thing, and just like it became this largely tactically oriented thing. And it was just a different animal and I didn't like it as much. So I quit playing. Never really looked back, kind of switched over to adventure RPG kind of, and really dialed back my gameplay, like how much I play video games has decreased substantially. When I was living in Ann Arbor, I was like playing New Vegas like fucking every day. So I was like, and but then you know, I didn't really do a lot when I didn't really have a job when I lived in Ann Arbor. Just kind of like worked freelance a little bit here and there and hang out at the cigar shop, and I had like a couple of friends, but like for the most part I just video games. Like, but there's no real, I don't know, it's games like that you can just dump hours into. It's like, and they're because they're not like require a lot of your attention and focus, you can just play them like passively.
Yeah.
More. It's like almost like watching a television show. You just kind of, when you're like playing Halo, you gotta be like dialed in.
Yeah.
High state of awareness. I don't know how people do that for like hours and hours on end.
I don't know. It's like a drug.
Yeah,
You
it
feel
kind
like
of
a
is.
dopamine hit every time they kill somebody.
Well, I think part of it is too is that like a lot of people, at least that I've known, weed and video games go together very well. Apparently.
Yeah.
It's like smoke weed and fucking like play video games.
Just zonk out and play
yeah.
a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, you know, didn't catch that boat.
Yeah. Well, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, drinking and video games don't go together well.
No. No.
Nope.
No.
Can't really drink and do anything other than write. I can drink and write.
I can drink and watch TV, drink and have a cigar,
Yeah.
drink and podcast. Yeah, video games I can't really do it.
It requires too much mental focus. And you would think writing would require a lot of mental focus, but for some reason it's better.
It's more loose with your words.
I guess maybe you're more relaxed. And that works if you're the kind of person that's trained yourself to be very like rigid in their structure of writing. And then like when you loosen up a little bit, it's like if you get good at bowling. I don't know how you seem like you used to bowl a decent amount.
Yeah, it was never good though.
No, but like let's say you're halfway decent. You have like I don't know. It seems like you're probably about as good as bowler as I am. 140 to 160 average, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Right. And like, don't you notice if you have a couple drinks while you're bowling, you bowl a little bit better.
Yeah.
But if you have if you have like 4 or 5 drinks, then you're like now you're just dog shit.
Yeah. I imagine that's the same thing with golf too. You just
Yeah.
gotta loosen your joints. Gotta loosen up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And like and pool too is that way a little bit. You play.
Yeah, we
little bit.
never drink when we play pool though.
It's because they don't have beer at the pool hall.
Yeah.
You don't really drink beer. But yeah, if you get a little like, you know, couple 2-3 drinks in, you know, a couple drams of whiskey, get a little loose, play a little aggressively. You know, it's kind of
I'll
good.
probably have a beer next time we play.
Yeah. It's well, it's the same thing with like poker. Like if I have a couple drinks while I play poker, I can usually play pretty good because I get a little less.
Yeah, you never want to go to the table loaded.
No.
I like to go, just load yourself up. Because your gameplay will change and people are like, what the fuck's with this guy? Because you want to be loaded, just going to fucking lose your ass in the first
Yeah,
like,
you're
20
just shooting
minutes.
from the hip.
Yeah, well, too much.
Yeah, I don't do that, but like enough to get a little bit loose. So but that's all predicated on being like, having some good structure to your game to begin with. You have good structure to your game to begin with, and you kind of get a little loose, and then you play better. But if you're horrible, and you have, like, if you're the kind of like really reckless player to begin with, then you shouldn't drink at all, because then you're just gonna go from like too reckless to just like fucking Wild West. It's not gonna be good.
Could be like a kung fu style, like drunken boxing. Like, where's this guy going? What's this guy have?
Yeah.
Just roll with the punches.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Canelo fight because it was going on last week.
Oh yeah.
So apparently Canelo fucking beat the fucking brakes off that dude.
Yeah, I saw the little clips of the fight. It's like, fucked him up, dude.
He beat the brakes off that guy.
Yeah. It's like, how can you? Like, why'd you let that guy get that close to you, man? How tall are you? Canelo's like 5'8".
Yeah, he's like 6'3" or something. Yeah, he's got 8 inches of reach on him.
Yeah,
Collins
that's crazy.
has 8 inches of reach.
That's kind of a masterclass of him just like waiting it out, just choosing the shots.
Yeah, I was talking with my buddy Devin about this, and it's like, yeah, he might be the
no Mayweather.
He might be the best pound for pound fighter right now. But it's not like a shoe-in that he's the best, but he's certainly.
What does he have to do?
What does he have to do? What?
To be pound for pound. It seems like he cleared out his division already. Does he have to go up more or down more?
Well, it's not.
Because we had a discussion off podcast. It's like, what is considered a greater fighter? A person that stays in your weight class, cleans out the division for years,
right?
Or the guy goes up and down, maybe has a loss or two, but still a dominant champion in either direction.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is right now, I think, is that there are two very good fighters in the welterweight division. And in the middleweight division, there really isn't that level of competition. And, like, Canelo's doesn't fight a lot. So, who was it?
Seems like a twice-a-year fighter.
I don't know that he had more. I think it was the only fight he had this year.
Well, COVID 2020 is a special year.
Sure, yeah, I get that, but yeah, my buddy Devin likes Bud Crawford for the pound for pound king right now, which is not really that far off base. He's a welterweight, but so who I think Errol
Betta says Via Meckel.
Yeah, okay, right on. Yeah, no, good for Canelo. He's good.
He the best.
It was like I told you that thing about fucking Marcos posting about Canelo being the middleweight GOAT or whatever, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I just like sent him Marvin Hagler's like Wikipedia stuff. I was like, no, that guy is the fucking GOAT. Like, just that's great. Like and that's what the predicated on that conversation is. I was like, He's not even the GOAT of Mexican boxers. Right? He's certainly not like the GOAT of like the middleweights. Like, you could make an argument that he is.
You can make for pound for today.
Currently.
Yes.
But even then,
there's too long of a.
But Errol Spence Jr. and Bud Crawford are definitely in that conversation. And they're poised to fight each other. I don't know that there has been anything scheduled, but that's
it's with any fight sport. There's like a recency biases against, like, with any fighter. It's like greatest of all time. It's like, are you serious? Like, he might have a great run right now, but you got to look at someone at the end of the career to be considered the greatest of all time, right? Those discussions are only for people like end of career.
Sure. And it's like, at what threshold do you? And for me, like, it counts for, like, so you look at Marvin Hagler just alone, 12 title defenses in the middleweight division, the most of anybody, and a 78% knockout rate. And we're not talking about somebody who 10 or 15 or 20. We're talking about a guy that has like 50 fights under his fucking belt, right? In the middleweight division, we're not talking about a heavyweight like Deontay Wilder, like a 88% knockout rate. We're talking about a middleweight division. It's a 160, 168. That's not like. That's a pretty impressive fucking stat. So Marvin Hagler just fucking run through some fucking chumps for like a decade. Like, if Canelo runs through some chumps for like a decade, then yeah, maybe we can start having that conversation. But it's like, yeah, it's just like, and that's what's so disheartening. So into Canelo, and that's great. He's a great fighter. He's a very good fighter. I'm not even prepared to say he's a great fighter. He can fucking shit the bed in his last, like, 2 or 3 years of fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
And, if you rewind 2 or 3 years, it was like Triple G, like, oh man, he's the fucking greatest ever. It's like, yeah. But, like, now maybe he cracks the top 10 for pound currently fighting. I don't know that you can make that argument, like, that because it's longevity counts.
Longevity and, like, the tail end of the career, how they manage that.
Yeah. Right. Or just moreover, like, accomplishments.
Yeah.
Fucking Ali won the heavyweight title 3 times. And Holyfield did that.
Yeah. But he had, like, a murderer's row of fighters. Ali did.
Yeah, that's why, like, he's probably better remembered than Holyfield. And I'm not taking away anything from Holyfield. Holyfield is a great fighter.
Yeah.
Like, he is.
But he was matched up against, like, generational fighters during his run.
Yeah.
All of them could be considered greats.
Yeah,
But
I mean, the
like
fucking
king of the hill.
Yeah, it's like the his path to his heavyweight championship wasn't like he had some guy that just like, oh, that was vacated and they gave it to the #1 contender. It was like, no, it was fucking George Foreman and it was Leon Spinks and it was Joe Frazier. It was like, these guys are fucking all legends in their own right. And it's like, and again, I don't much care for Ali's style and bravado. Like, he's not my cup of tea, but like, if you're gonna make an argument for like the greatest fighter, like, just based on sheer like accomplishments alone, like, he has to take the cake. And so it's like,
I'm so sick, I'll make medicine.
oh, medicine.
I turn off the lights, I get in the before it gets dark.
Right, and it's not until like, and you don't even realize. That's the thing about Ali is like, you didn't realize that he had kind of lost so many steps until like what last fight was 1980 against I almost said Buster Douglas. He's not fucking Buster Douglas. Larry Holmes. And you didn't realize that he had really even lost like what he had lost until he fought somebody who was like sharpened in their prime and like an up and coming like very good fighter. Because that's what it takes. It takes a great to like wane in capabilities and then come up against somebody who's, I don't know, I call Larry Holmes a great fighter, but he's a very good fighter and his star was rising. And then you sharpen that against Ali, and then he's like, oh shit, I'm not like what I used to be. He's got the fucking brakes beat off of him by
Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah.
No one beats Father Time.
Yeah. And so but yeah, I don't know. It was but no, I don't really know what he would have to do to, I mean, to be fair, like, I think most of the sanctioning bodies, Ring Magazine, most professional, whoever, like, they probably consider, if I had to guess who they considered the best pound for pound fighter active now, it would probably be Canelo. But that's a far cry from being like, the greatest of all time. It's almost like people just use the phrase GOAT and they don't really know that's an acronym for something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, it'd just be like, I can't even think of an equivalent thing. It doesn't seem to be a problem. It seems to be more of a problem in combat sports, like you said. It's not like a problem in like basketball. Almost like fucking LeBron James is the what?
Yeah, he's like they always say future Hall of Famer.
Sure, absolutely.
That's for sure.
That's a shoo-in.
Yeah, he'll be first ballot.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But it takes time. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, next minute you'll like people like claiming the praise of this one fighter, and then they'll lose. Like, oh, he wasn't that great. Look at this other guy. He's the greatest now. Like, what?
It's Ronda Rousey syndrome.
Yeah. That was so crazy. That run was so crazy for her.
She had like 5 fights. They're like, oh my gosh, she's the greatest. Like, it's 5 fights.
Yeah, but you gotta look at like what she did to these girls. She just beat the brakes off.
Well, and that's part of the thing that like counts for a pound for pound ranking, right? So
she'll be a very important fighter for her time, but she won't be considered the greatest. There's the girl like Amanda Nunes is probably going to be the greatest female fighter so far. She's the GOAT.
Just that I know who she is probably comments on that.
Yeah.
Like,
on who?
that I know who Amanda Nunes is.
Yeah.
Like so she's some other female fighter that's not Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
It's like
2 weight divisions and fought in both and defended both belts.
Yeah, and not to mention like margin of victory counts a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
So like this victory from Alvarez says a lot. Mm-hmm. Because the
undefeated fighter too.
Right, and yeah, exactly. The guy that he fought wasn't some fucking chump. I mean, he's a guy that's like a lot bigger than him, and an undefeated fighter in his own right. And so, but when you look at like just margin of victory, is like people just beating the ever-loving shit out of. That's where Devin and I depart on like sensibilities about heavyweight fighters. It's like, oh, you think everybody thinks Tyson's so great? It's like, yeah, it's because he was just fucking annihilating people, annihilating like all of the like fighters. And you could argue that his division was watered down during that time, and when he finally came up against Holyfield or Lennox Lewis or whatever, that he didn't fare so well, tail end of his career or whatever, yada yada yada. But it's like you're just first 22 fights, like 19 KOs in the first round. It's like fucking Jesus. Like you're just running through guys, just beating the ever-loving shit out of the guys that are considered like, oh, this ought to be a good fight. And it's like, nope, no, it's not. Then you make a case
Don't blink.
Yeah, you make a case, and so Canelo kind of did that with this latest fight. So I think that it probably could solidify him as he's probably the pound for pound best fighter out there now. But there's also like in pound for pound rankings, it really just means like who's the best fighter in each division. Yeah. Like pound
for pound means just skill for skill. Right, that's all it brings down to. Like,
right, but there tends to be like when it's pound for pound, it's like, well, there's a bias against heavyweights because they're at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, for sure. But they're not the most skillful fighters.
No,
at all. So there's a lot of like sliding scales of what you consider, like what you have to consider pound for pound, because it has to be competition during their reign, and like if they can take adversity, if they're just like. Because I wouldn't even... It's hard for me to even consider someone like a pound for pound if they never went through any adversity. Like, they were, lost a couple rounds, and now they're,
Yeah, but, like, there's a bias toward, like, the middleweight divisions.
Yeah, because it's more...
Because you can go more up and down. Like, the heavyweights don't go down as much.
Yeah.
And they can't go up.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're a welterweight, you're
plus
a middleweight...
Plus, they're on the fattest part of the bell curve.
Right.
Like, most of the fighters are going to be sitting in that place. There's more...
Exactly. So there's more wiggle room to go up and down. But when a guy's like a flyweight or a bantamweight, like who's that fucking Asian guy? This fucking Asian guy, I can't remember his name, but I think he's a bantamweight, and he's fucking just tearing people up. But they don't have as much like flexibility to go up and down. But if you fight somewhere between...
Plus, there's a bias of like men don't want to see little guys fight.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
There's not as much punching power. There's no like, oh, maybe he's gonna like rock his world and fucking like knock him the fuck out. It's like, nah, it's probably not
gonna... the weight of their gloves are like 20 pounds or 20% of their weight. So it's like,
I mean, bantamweight guys aren't that small. I mean, you're talking like flyweight, strawweight, kind of like.
Fucking gloves are like this on them.
Yeah.
And they're like wearing their trunks up to their nipples. Like, hey, come put them up here.
Just like a little kid, like floundering around.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ, they're fast, but they're just like not doing anything to each other.
Yeah, but there's much. They don't tend to like flex. Like if you're flexing in class, if you're below, say the 135 and you're above 165, 68, whatever the cutoff is. But like if you're welterweight, middleweight, super middle, go up and down much easier, and there's still like a lot of competition there. But it's like, if you're a bantamweight, like you don't really have much incentive to go down a weight class and fight those guys.
Yeah.
And
you're probably cutting a lot of weight too to begin with. You're like, why want to fucking drain yourself?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I don't know. But
I'm curious about like boxers. They don't seem to cut a lot of weight. Or do they? I don't know.
Depends on how many weight divisions they fight in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because there's not too much leeway with MMA. It's like...
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually you can cut 6 to 10 pounds and be in a different weight division.
Okay. Because for MMA, because there's like a 10-pound swing between each division, but you're only allowed 1 pound allowance for non-title fights. But you see guys like, not in recent history because of certain rules, but there used to be like, it wasn't unheard of to hear someone cut 30 pounds in fight week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there was one guy, Rumble Johnson, he fought at 170 at one point, but he was cutting about 40 pounds fight week.
Yeah, that's fucking... Like, I remember when I did that profile. I don't know if I ever sent it to you.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I assume you didn't like it because you didn't say anything about it.
We talked about it.
Did we?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that guy, like he's fucking like 6'1", and he fights at my weight, 147.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I walk around at about 172, and I was like, and I just saw pictures of him. I was like, dude, you look emaciated here. Like, you fight at 147 at 6'1", like fucking MMA, man. You know, like.
Yeah, but you have 24 hours. So it's a little bit different. But boxing's the same thing. You have 24 hours, right?
Sure, I just like I think that's part of the reason that like I never really wanted to like get more serious about boxing because it's just like okay, so you walk around at about 150, somewhere between 145 and 150. You fight at 147. A few fights in that, and they went pretty well, I guess. Until I started fighting Hispanic fighters, and I was like, oh, that's just a
sorry, senor, you're going to get fucked.
Just a degree of speed that I'm not used to, and so I was like, okay, whatever. But like, people are like, yeah, like it's weird because you're 5'7" and you're like walk around at 145 and 147 or whatever. You really should be fighting like the 120 weight division. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I don't care that much.
Yeah,
like this is like a fun thing.
Yeah,
it's like a fun thing that I could like do and like it'll be fun and like I can maybe learn to do it a little bit better. But like, and yeah, I'm not doing that. Started fighting guys that are like had faster hands than me, better footwork than me, and then it's like I'd be doing other stuff, and I just like find my like my just brain being fuzzy because it's like someone's like 10 or 12% faster than you, and you're talking about hundreds of blows coming in, and you're sparring and doing a couple of fights. You're talking about dozens of extra blows coming to your head. And when you start to reach for things that like I have a pretty good memory about stuff. And when I go to reach for things, I go to do things that require some concentration, and that shit gets fuzzy. Like I like my brain way more than I like my body.
Yeah,
it's just more of a value to me in some ways. So I'm like, I'm not trading one for the other, right? I don't see a value in that. So it's like I can't do without my brain at all. So it's like, yeah, no thanks, I'm done.
Yeah, you don't want to be punch drunk at 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just, and I don't have a lot of wiggle room in my intellect to begin with. It's not like I'm fucking Vladimir Klitschko who has like a PhD in sports medicine, and
I'll do chess on my off time.
Right, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So it's like that guy's already super smart, so he can be a little punchy and still be kind of smart. Like I can't do that. Like I go from like borderline like okay to like borderline retarded within like 2 or 3 IQ points. It's like not good. And so it's like, I'm done with this, I guess, for a while. And yeah,
agreed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. I remember back in high school and middle school. Nah, more in high school when we used to do wrestling. The thing with wrestling is you weigh in the day of, especially for tournaments. That sucked.
You weigh in the day of.
Yeah, I do. And I'd see teammates, they would cut like 10 or 15 pounds a day of. I'm like, Jesus, this sucks. I just don't eat for the day and I make weight.
Yeah.
But I was like a tiny guy.
What did you wrestle? You said you wrestled at 115?
I think 115 sophomore year.
That's so fucking weird.
Little tiny guy.
I know. Because you gotta walk around about a 190, not 195.
It's getting north of that, buddy. I had a pretty good holiday.
Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. Let's just call it 200.
Let's say that. Yeah.
Okay. It's like I can't. Like I was like 115 in high school too.
Compared to the video of me skydiving, I was like at 145, 150 at that time, and imagine at 115.
Well, the thing is too is even in that video, you look smaller than me.
Oh, wow.
You do. You like you look skinnier than I am now. And it's like not that far off. Like you said, like 140, 150. That's like what I weigh in at.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I don't. That's so weird to me that like you just look.
Well, I think I just have like a wide ass head.
Maybe it's just like you grew into like you were always destined. Yeah, you're always destined to be like the weight you are now, and you just grew into it.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
You ever see like guys that were like destined to be fat, but they just kept like they have huge fucking heads?
It's like Bob. Bob dropped all that weight, and now he like, looks weird because he's like all normal.
Well, his dad was like that. He had his dad is built like right now. He's built like his dad when he was alive. So, yeah.
Yeah, he just looks weird now. Like I'm not used to him seeing him be like my weight. Even though he's like my height.
He's your weight.
He is now.
He is your weight now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just carries it very differently than I do. And so it's like, but yeah, I don't know. Apparently I look lighter than I am because people, I think that's just part of like the thing though, is people that are fat have no, it's like people that are really old. They're like, what are you like 20, 21? It's like, I'm almost 40, dude. What the?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And people that are really fat would be like, what are you like? It's like people that are like, you and Mikey are like the same size. Like Mikey got like 50 pounds on me. What are you talking about? It's like, well, you're like the same height. I'm like, yeah, we're the same height. He outweighs me by like 50 pounds. That's a not insignificant amount of weight.
Yeah, I have noticed that people are like the borderline of like depending. They get confused how old I am is if they're about 10 years older than I am.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
They just think I'm a lot younger than I am. I'm like, why would you even think that? But people that are around our age, like they hit it in the park.
Yeah.
But if they're younger, they do think I am.
Because it's like, what are you like? You're like my age, you're like what, 36, 37, 38, somewhere there? Like,
but if they're in like their like early 20s, they don't really know how, like, they can't tell how old I am. I was like, you're either really, really old or am I like only a couple years older than I am.
I know, it's what's really funny is it's like, so I'm like 13 years older than my old lady, right? 12, 13 years, somewhere in that ballpark. And she gets used to looking at this shit show as like what an adult man looks like. So like she'll encounter someone that's like her age, and she'll just be like, "Yeah, he looks like a baby. He looks like a child." And I'm like, "That's because you're used to looking at this and like this old fucking like decrepit, crusty face is what you think an adult looks like. But you don't realize that like people your age look like that. They look like normal humans."
Oh, like your her friend's boyfriend.
Yeah, to be fair, he does look really young.
Oh, okay.
And he is a little younger than her. I think he's 24.
Okay.
But yeah, he's 24, and she like just turned 26. And she looks at him, and she's like, he looks like a child to me.
Could be like my brother.
Just looks like a child.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's because you're just used to like looking at people like men that are older than you as like adults. Guys that are your age just apparently look like children. I guess that's weird, but
yeah, it's like when I hit 30, like people at like grocery stores or fast food places, "Excuse me, sir." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking to?"
Who are you talking to? You talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
I'm a sir now. That's cool.
You talking to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an immediate, like, you know that's a disqualifier. You go up to a restaurant, coffee shop, wherever you are, and you're like, oh, this girl behind the counter is kind of cute.
Yeah.
And she's like, how you doing today, sir? And you're like, okay, that's she. I'm too old for her. Like, she just called me sir.
I was born in the 90s. Yeah. Or I'm born in like the 2000s.
Making copies. Yeah, remember that? I was born in 1997. Yep. Yep. Born in the 2000s. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, you like if you're. Yeah, you're like.
You could be 20 years old.
20 years old right now. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's weird to me. It's like the fucking coffee shop girl. It was like, oh, she's kind of cute. She seems to be kind of flirty with me, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm 17. I'm like, oh okay, never mind.
I was just kidding. Prank call.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I'm old enough to be your father.
It is weird to think about that, right? Like I could be your father.
Yeah, like technically. Well, and that's what's weird for me is just like like you go like, okay, whoa, hey, step back from this, and then you think about it for a second, and you're like, no, I'm not crazy. You're like, you're definitely flirting with me. You're flirting with me, and I'm old enough to be your father.
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't want to open that fucking can of worms, you know.
Your dad seemed like it was okay.
Yeah, well, my mom's okay with it too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my mom's like significantly older, or not significantly now that they're adults, but like when you think that my mom was 21 and my dad was 15.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's different, you know, I hate to make the whole, like, it was a different time argument.
No.
But, like, my dad is, like, I mean, for lack of a better word, my dad is, like, a fucking alpha male. Like, he's always been an alpha male. And so, like, it's probably
son, when you're this buff, they just let you grab it.
It's like, well, like I told you the story about he's fucking, like, it's like, oh, I'm doing framing and roofing with Stephanie's brother, or Stephanie's boyfriend, my cousin Stephanie, my aunt Rhonda's kid, her boyfriend, like, got my dad a job doing framing and roofing. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm not doing like any of like the heavy work or whatever, like, you know, any of the hauling or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm remembering back to, like, I did roofing for a summer with, I think, my Uncle Bill, and I was like 21. And that shit, just like any of it, just like all day in the fucking like July heat, like just fucking murdered me. My dad's like 55 or something like that.
Wow. Your dad's really young still.
What's that?
Your dad's really young still.
Oh, no, actually, he's probably 50. I think he's 58 now.
Okay.
Actually, he's 58 because my mom is 62, 63.
How old was your dad when you were born?
1920.
Okay.
Because he was 16 when my sister was born, so he was 20 when I was born.
Okay.
So my dad's 20 years older than me, which is like, you know, a generation. That's a normal generational gap. But like, yeah, so I'm 38. So my dad's, he's probably 58 now. He's doing roofing and framing at 58.
Well, not all the hard stuff.
Yeah, not the hard stuff. That was his response to me. It's like, I'm not doing any of the hard stuff. I'm like, yeah, but the easy stuff is murder. But it's just like, that's just how they built men back then.
Yeah.
They just built them more like out of bricks.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Working class.
Yeah, so, well, whatever. You know, turn myself.
I don't go to the gym anymore. Just pick up all this shit.
Turn myself in to the police. You know, I'm on probation now. Like, yeah, okay, good for you. Cool. From threatening that fucking kill that cop when he pulled me over, because that's a thing I do. I'm pushing 60 years old.
Hey, we didn't say all this stuff. You don't need to.
No, it's just like that's the thing with my dad, man. It's just like I think the biggest problem in his life is that he just can't grapple with the fact that he's getting older.
Yeah.
He's just been used to being like,
okay. Yeah, this is gonna roll into something else, but yeah.
Yeah, he's been used to being just a strong, capable, assertive, aggressive, like guy, and he's just like now, like his body is like starting to fail him, where he has like, oh my god, I'm not like invincible.
Yeah.
He's been invincible his whole fucking life, and now he just like most of like his psychological hang-ups have to do with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, segues into
segues in the thing with like my parents. They're, you know, during these times of
these troubling times
of COVID, that
these dark times.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm trying to be careful for them because I hang around with them like
this is another casino story, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm like, geez, why am I doing all these stuff? I could do reckless shit. I could do whatever I fucking want to. I'm young enough to do this stuff.
I gotta wear rubber at a
do all that stuff. But it's like, I don't want to get you guys sick, and I don't want to be responsible for getting someone else sick and them getting someone sick. That's not healthy, right? Trying to be responsible.
Sure.
And it's that kind of weird mentality where they think they're in their 30s or 20s still, and they're, you know, way past that. They're almost senior citizens, and
they're almost senior citizens.
Yeah.
So you said my dad was young. So how old are your parents?
My dad would be 62.
He is a senior citizen.
Yeah.
55 is senior citizen.
Yeah. Mom's a senior citizen too. Then
yeah,
she's
senior citizen.
50. 57.
Okay, so your parents are like the same age as mine. My dad's 58. My mom's, I think, 62, 63.
Yeah.
So they're the same age.
Yeah, but it's just like, you guys aren't young anymore. You can't do all this weird stuff. You can't interact. You're going to places with large crowds. There's too many variables in these things. You could have, like, you know, some sort of degree of, like, playing roulette with small groups. Like, if they're, you know, not super stupid and come into the shop when they're sick, you know, I kind of have some trust with people that come in here, that people that staff are here. We're gonna notify you if they're not feeling well. But you can't control this big of variability amongst going to Las Vegas
Sure.
during New Year's when there's gonna be a big enough crowd where it's gonna be like, what the and I'm like, and I told him, I was like, I'm not going because, you know, I need the work. Number two, I don't want to go there. Vegas is not that fun to me, especially when I'm going with family. I love you. Hang out on Christmas.
Trying to raw dog on a bunch of prostitutes would be a different story.
No. But yeah, it's like not my cup of tea. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go pay for my plane ticket. That's fine. But it's like, why are you taking the risk? I don't understand it. Because like they had this whole rigmarole. It's like, oh, we have to go to Kaiser to get like tested so we can have like a paper with us when we go on the plane and all this stuff. I'm like, there's so many hoops to jump around. Just stay home.
Yeah. That's why I find myself thankful that like I'm not actually close in proximity to my parents. Because like, okay, so my mom, it's easier for me to think of like, okay, she's old. But my mom is like a diminutive woman in stature. Okay. My mom's probably not even 5 foot. And she's like 85 pounds. Right? So there's at least that like communicates to me that she is, you know, old and frail. Her personality doesn't communicate that at all. It's like my mom has a personality of somebody who's fucking twice her size. And that's part of the reason that she's so lovable, is that like my mom doesn't seem to be aware of the fact that she is old and small. Like she'll just walk around like, and she'll talk to grown fucking like men in their prime like they won't murder her or something. It's very charming. My mom is a very charming woman. And but like I find myself lucky that I'm not near my dad, because like I don't know what it would take to communicate to me that my dad is vulnerable. Because my whole life he is just like the antithesis of that. Like I don't want to say like I idolize my dad or whatever, but there's just like it would have to be some very strong circumstances to convince me that my father is is vulnerable to anything. Because everything about his personality and everything about him in general is just like, whatever, like I'll just fucking go on. Like, yeah, I got a broken arm, but like that doesn't mean I can't fucking work. Right? So like that's just how he is. It's how he's always been. He's cantankerous. Like the saltiness of it, it's like pickled pork or something, right? Like the saltiness of it like indemnifies it against going bad, and that's like he's that way, just a super salty, crusty old guy that like you just like he'll just go on living forever. Like he'll outlive me. Like I'll get cancer at 40 and he'll just still be trucking along.
Piss
like,
on your grave.
Yeah, just like whatever. Yeah, it's fucking.
Hurray's the pussy. Look at this guy.
Sissy. It's like, yeah, fucking right. Okay, great. It's like you look at buildings from like the 1900s and that building is still standing. It's like, yeah, it's because I knew how to build buildings back then. And it's the same thing with like men from the 60s and like 50s. Like they just genetics knew how to build men back then, and now we're just all soft and squishy and gross and idiots.
So it's like the lack of medicine, the strong will survive, and that's
it's
what
just
happened.
like, yeah, like it's just like I'm not like there's no amount of like if I were around my dad, I would just feel comfortable just doing anything. It's just like, I feel like really sick, I'm just gonna cough in your face and whatever, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You never give you nothing for nothing. It's like yep, whatever. So it's like probably good that I'm not near him, because like
one thing is like having the mentality of a young man, but like what is the reality that's happening? Your body's not functioning like it was before, and they just think that way. It's like you're not going to be.
Yeah, but it's like it's even like my dad, like some like is pushing 60 years old at diminished capacity. Like I would still bank on him over like anybody our age, like prime health, like some 30 years old, like just prime, goes to the gym every day, and like who's gonna die in this catastrophic situation? It's like, I'm betting on the young healthy guy over my dad. Like he just, I don't know, we'll just figure out some way to not die from whatever, because that's just how it, like it's like he just remains ignorant of all the things. Like it's like, I'm just like, whatever, I just keep doing my thing, man, you know. Apparently he started smoking cigars. He told me this.
That's good.
He was like, yeah, I started smoking cigars. He enjoys, like, so give me some Rex, man, you know, like some stuff not too expensive, you know. Like I was like, all right, yeah, like, I was like, don't tell me you started smoking cigars, because we're gonna start bonding again, and I don't know if I can deal with that. Like, so yeah, I enjoy one every now and again, you know, because I can't really drink, and you know, that's been tough, because I don't remember a time in my life when I was sober at all, period. I just don't remember what that's like. Can't drink, I can't smoke weed. So what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know, Dad, what are you gonna do? Well, you know, work, you know, like, yeah, I do know. Enjoy your holiday, Dad. So, like, whatever. Like, the thing is that's scary to me is, like, last like year or two, I'm starting to get where he's coming from. Like, yeah, you know what? You're like, yeah, this old guy, like, he's making a lot of sense. I'm starting to feel him.
You know, old man, you know what's going on.
I might have to move back to Michigan and like hang out with my dad. Did you see that thing I posted on Instagram when I was at Ohlone? Where I had like so they have like Pandora at Ohlone.
Yeah.
And it's like, they have all these stations, like, you know, Cuban and reggae classics and like this and that. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to any of this faggot shit, right? So I'm like,
it should have been like the category should be like foreign shit or some real American shit. Right,
so it was just like all this, just whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna create a station. I'm like, what kind of station do I want to create? And I'm like, fucking AC/DC just put out a new album. I'm about to create some of that shit. AC/DC, right? Put it on, playing it, walking around the shop, and I started realizing, I was like, man, this is like, this station is making me realize that I have just become my father, because I'm listening to this music and I find myself just walking around the shop just totally unconsciously, and I'm just like playing air guitar. I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, you know, maybe the old man's got a point on some of this shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just becoming my dad, apparently. Is it weird for you to be the age that you remember your dad being when you were a kid?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's like, I remember back like when I was a kid, and then I just do the math. I'm like, my dad was my age when I had that memory. And I think about the prospect of like being in charge of like another human. Yeah. And it gives me so much anxiety that I almost have a conniption fit, start hyperventilating, and need to like close myself in a dark room. And it's like, everybody, like, they didn't think about it. Like, I had some kids, like, whatever. Like, hey, you're just like little rugrat. You just like go off and do your thing. Like, oh, you want to put a penny in a light socket? Like, oh, that hurt, didn't it? You pull that fucking TV from the TV stand onto your head. Like, oh, you won't do that anymore. What'll you? Like, it's whatever. It's that lousy fair parenting from the fucking late Gen Xers.
Yeah, it freaked me out when I turned 30, because I remember when my mom turned 30. On her 30th birthday, I was like, oh, so weird. I was a little kid. I was like 11 years old.
I'm not looking forward to my old lady turning 30, because she already has conniption fits about, like, it's like, since she turned 25, it's like, I'm 25 now. I'm like,
quarter life crisis. That's always fun.
Yeah, but no, it's like in this year, I was like, now I'm 26.
Oh no.
It's like, yeah. Just getting filtered out.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, okay. Whatever, man. I don't know. Like, I can't really relate to that. Like, I was like, oh yeah, it's like,
I remember that.
I don't remember like just caring. Just like one day I just like woke up and suddenly like people that were in their early 20s seemed like children to me.
Oh yeah. And
I was like, oh, I'm here now, which is where I felt like I always should be. It just felt like it's like my demeanor.
Yeah, that's right.
My demeanor finally matches my age.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's right.
Your attitude's about like late 40s to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll grow into your late 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It's always funny to me because, like, within my group of friends, I'm known as the old man because I'm like one of the older guys in the group, even though it's like relative to them, it's like what,
a year or two or three.
So yeah.
Well, I think part of it is too, is just like me, you're like, so you're just like, you're not gonna get married or have kids. You're just gonna keep smoking cigars and working at the machine shop. It's like,
just doing my thing, man.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That's just kind of how you're gonna be. Like, getting more gray hair, but you're still wearing a ball cap. Like, why is that a thing?
You got a full set of hair and you're still wearing a ball cap.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, just whatever. It's
I don't know. My parents don't give me that any grief at all.
No, not your parents, but like, it's just, that's the attitude of people. It's like, oh, like you're just that guy now, and like that's how like Diana and I are super meant to be together, because every now and again we'll just be sitting quietly in the living room watching a TV show or something, drinking like tea.
I remember that one story you told me, like Marcos's like gal pal came in, you're playing like Scrabble, and Diana's like drinking tea with her fucking like
in a robe. We're playing Scrabble Saturday night.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna hit the clubs, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like, wow, we're just like really old.
Yeah.
And like, it's become like this banner thing between me and Diana, where we acknowledge how boring we are, but we enjoy how boring we are, and we can be boring together, and we'll just look at each other and be like, this is really great. Let's never get married. And we go, yeah, let's never get married. That's a good thing. Sure. Apparently she was trolling her parents about that, because her parents are like their parents don't like me. They think that I'm like some poisoning influence on their daughter because she used to be like, you know, all under their thumb and like obsequious, and I hated that about her. It was like the only thing I didn't like about her. She had all these other things about her that I adored, and I was like, all right, I don't like these 2 or 3 things, and I'm gonna see maybe if she's willing to like not be that way, and if
poison her mind.
Sure. It was like, you know, there was 2 things I didn't like about Diana when I first got together with her. It was, 1, she had a job that she hated and didn't seem to want to change that. And 2, she seemed to live to like serve her parents. Everything else about her I thought was just like perfect. Like just perfectly aligned with what I want in a lady. And there was these 2 things, and I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel out whether those 2 things are things that she wants to change, or she's content with them being the way they are. And if she's content with the way they're being, the way they are, then we'll date maybe 6 or 8 months. And then I'll have to just go along my merry way. But if she's receptive to them changing, then maybe we could be together for a bit. And so, like, I just, you know, like, hey, you know, you don't have to live for other people. You can live for yourself.
What?
And yeah, that was kind of the response. Are you really? Like, someone will like encourage me to be like a independent person who's like assertive and not like a fucking doormat?
Only if they agree with those things.
Yeah. It's like it's like, okay, that's great. Just do your thing, right? And so you know, obviously she was receptive to those things changing, and she changed, and so she's like still has like a relationship with her parents, but she just like doesn't let them like shit all over her anymore, and they don't know how to process that, so they just think that I'm like the devil. I've just like poisoned her brain, and so like she like, you know, interacts
well
with
I think it's like going through the growing pains of having an older child and getting the release under their thumb. They're like, oh, fucking.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, that happens with every parent, right?
Yeah.
Like your child is getting some semblance of independence, but like
autonomy.
this isn't like, I don't know, maybe it's skewed by the whole Bay Area whatever cost of living bullshit, but like Diana was 21 when we started dating. To me, it was like, I remember I didn't have my own apartment when I was 19 going on 20, and I was like, wow, like all my friends moved out like a year and a half ago. They all had their own apartments, their own jobs, their own cars, like everything, like at 18, like as soon as they could.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the Bay Area thing.
Yeah. And so, but like still, like she was like 21, like she's a grown woman. Like that's not like weird for her to like start, it's a college educated like adult with like a full-time job in her own right, and you have this attitude like she's supposed to like still behave like a obsequious high schooler, and like I can't deal with that shit, right? Like, if you don't want that to change, that's fine, I can get it, go and do your thing, but she didn't seem pleased with it, so I just kind of gave her permit, like, you don't have to be that way, you can just like be your own person. She's like, oh wow, I guess I can be my own person. And now she's done that, and she's like her own person. She goes and like visits her parents, and her parents are like afraid of her. They're like scared of like they tiptoe around her because she's like this like horrible like independent person now. It's like super amusing to me. I don't get it.
Oh, you just gotta learn to live with it.
No, but they don't know how to do that.
That's their problem.
I agree fully, like it's their problem, but it's just amusing to me that they don't know how to process it, because normally parents go through a growth as their children go through a growth.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with my ex, where it was like when I first started dating Jen, I was 24, I want to say, and she was 18, and so she was right on the edge, like she had a job and like all this stuff, and so she was right on the edge of like becoming independent. And like I didn't know her that well in the early stages, and then so you fast forward like a year, and she told me, she was like, oh yeah, like actually right around the time I started dating you, me and my mother were having like all kinds of problems. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you guys are so close now. And she's like, yeah, but like, and I was like, actually that makes sense, because you're like 18, you're like whatever, starting to like get some semblance of independence, and that kind of like, but then like it evolved, and her mother's sensibility evolved, and she broke away from the family, and her mother saw that she was still going to have a relationship, and so her mother's perspective evolved too, because as it turns out, Jen's mom is not like a total like idiot or whatever you want to call it, and so she just kind of like progressed along with it, and they had a good relationship. Now it was a relationship of an adult and adult, right? Not like I'm trying to hold on to you as a child and you're trying to struggle away, and there was like some tension there, and I didn't really see that because we were still early in the dating, but like it was like that happened with Diana, and her parents are still just back like in the mindset that they were when she was like 17 or 18 and she was in college.
Yeah.
And that's not good, and so she just kind of pokes at them and like
yeah, maybe because she wasn't as rebellious as a teenager, because it's
Not
like
at
the whole
all.
thing where you gotta kill the image of your parents as being authoritarians, controlling everything that is your life. Your ideas are your own, not theirs. You don't share the same sensibilities as much as they do, and you kind of fight those kind of identity things, right? So, once you kind of prove yourself as being an adult, then they kind of respect you as like, okay, you know what you're doing. Looking at something.
oh, it was like a delay on the video, and I was like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah. So like once you have your own opinion, but you can clearly prove yourself as a person that could feed yourself and live on your own, and you're not living on your parents' dime, then they kind of give you some respect as an adult.
Yeah, but they haven't
kind of see you.
they
not
haven't
as
they
equals,
haven't
but-
progressed to that point yet.
Yeah, but that's their problem.
I agree, it's
Yeah.
their problem, absolutely.
And that might
but
be a thing because she wasn't as rebellious as a teenager.
no, she was like totally like do what she's supposed to do.
Now it's a delayed type of thing now.
And it's what's particularly funny is that she's kind of behind the curve in this regard.
Yeah.
When in all other aspects, she should have been like ahead of the curve. Because Diana started going to college when she was 15.
Mm-hmm.
So like she was in college, but she was done with her bachelor's by the time she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like most people aren't even out of high school at that point. Like maybe they're out of high school, but like she was done with college at that point, and it seems like you'd be like ahead of the curve, but it was like nope. Like I
think it's one of those things where you have to make your own money, make your way in the world, do all those things, those are kind of the things that makes a difference. Going through school is one thing because you're kind of expected to do that.
Right, but if you finished school at 18 and you started working, right? Like by the time I had met her, she had already like finished college. She had already had a job in Newport Beach in finance, decided she didn't like that, and shifted careers to property management. And then shifted careers again to marketing. And she's 26. She's been doing that for several years now. It's like, I wasn't even done with college by the time I was fucking 26. And so you would think that, like, if you get most of the things done early, then you can kind of, like, start that transition sooner. But it almost, like, extended the shelf life of it. Where in, like, some regards, like, academically and professionally, she was, like, ahead of the curve. But, like, interpersonally, with her relationships with her parents, she's, like, way behind the curve.
Yeah.
It's like super weird to me. It's like, I don't know how, like, my parents were like, oh, you're like 13, 14, you're basically an adult now, get out there in the fucking world, you don't need any supervision, you don't want to finish high school, like, that's cool with me. I dropped out at 16, like, I had 5 kids by the time I was 25.
You're starting off.
There you go.
Go spread your seed.
Don't go to jail, don't get a woman pregnant, and don't get murdered. If you don't do those things, then you're a success. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but, like, it's just, the differences are, like, amusing to me. It's like seeing her, like, my parents are so, like, it's like a distant memory for me at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they're just people that exist that I have some, like, modicum of affection for, and they just, like, live their own, like, but hers are still, like, you know, fretting about, like, what it is that she does, and, like, all these, like, silly things that, like, if I illuminated all of them for you, you would think were just fucking ludicrously silly. Like, they don't like what kind of car she drives. They don't like that I drive a Ford Focus.
Why do you give a shit?
Because they think that, like, if you don't drive like a Mercedes or a BMW, it's basically a death trap.
Nah.
They don't like that she does. Here's the funniest one.
How about this? You're not in debt. That's a starter.
They don't like that she eats spicy food. They think that that's an indicator that, like,
the devil's in you.
That's not a joke.
The devil's putting spices in your body.
Yeah.
You're building stuff for Satan in your body.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not good for your digestive
Absolutely
system.
Yes. They think that, like, the spicy food is an indicator that the devil has got her. Mm-hmm. Spicy food. Like, you say it out loud and it just sounds so fucking ludicrous.
You know what? Hail Satan, baby.
Yeah, right? I'm trying to get that spice in my body. That's like, ooh, baby.
All those Koreans are going to hell.
Yeah, that's just, but, like, yeah, spicy food, what kind of car she drives, what kind of clothes she wears, right? She's, like, going the way of Satan. She wears all these black clothes that are provocative.
But did you say her mom, like, criticized her being dressing up too boring?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, her mother is, like, one of these women that, like, can't accept that she's not 25 anymore. So she, like, bleaches her hair platinum blonde and just, like, wears all these, like, jiggy, super extra jewelry and super extra clothes and, like, leopard print patterns and everything to, like, distract everybody from the fact that she's, like, 50 years old, when it's like, you're 50. There's nothing wrong with being 50. And, like, Diana is meanwhile like, oh, like, I'm kind of, you know, kind of minimalistic style, gal. Like, yeah. And so she's like, it's super boring. She wears black and she dresses provocatively. She doesn't wear a bra. Like, oh my god, she's like going to hell. It's like, seriously, like,
that's some old world shit.
Yeah, it really is. Well, they're from Romania, man. They grew up during the fucking Romanian Revolution, so it's like, it's just super weird to me to, like, even, like, my parents couldn't give a shit about what I do. Like, I finished college, I don't have babies, I didn't go to prison, and, like, my parents are like, hey, good job, son, like, I'm proud of you. And meanwhile, like, she's not, like, some gold digging, like, whatever, she's not gold digger, so her parents are, like, super
try to escape from communism. What's going on here?
You're not a gold digger? Your boyfriend doesn't, like, you know, make millions of dollars.
Him.
She's not supporting me.
I'm kidding.
She's not supporting me.
Kidding.
This bitch right here. But she does make more money than me.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of her. Like, and good for her. You know, but her parents don't see it that way. Like,
you know, I need some, like, you know, break you.
She got me a brake
No.
cue. My
It's a good girlfriend.
My girlfriend's the
She
best.
listens.
She's the best.
Yeah.
I have zero. It's the only thing I have no complaints about.
Yeah, she never fills up the bitter water filter, but that's cool.
Yeah. But that's more charming than it is anything.
Is it?
It's kind of annoying, but it's like charming. Oh, did I tell you about my heat breaking?
Oh, you told me about it.
All right, let's roll up this fucking sleeves here.
Whoa, wait, buddy.
All right. So
I don't like that microaggression you did to me. I don't appreciate that stuff. I'm just letting it be known I don't like those microaggressions. I'm not going to stop him. This white man is not going to try to put me down right now.
Hey.
I'm trying to talk. Excuse me.
Hey, a white man is talking here. A white man is talking here.
Excuse me.
A white man. I am white and I am talking. I am white and I am talking.
Hold on. Continue.
Okay, proceed. No, okay, so this is amusing. So our heat went out. We had a problem with the thermostat like a month ago.
Tiny Tim now?
Yeah, pretty much. And so I had this problem with the heat. And a guy came from PG&E and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's a problem with like the actuator, like like making contact with the thing." So I just it was blocking it, so I fixed it. It's fixed. And then it like went on the fritz again, and the heat went out. I was like, a space heater, like heat the house or whatever. And the guy came and like replaced the thermostat, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like the problem is that like it that circuit, like it gets broke, and I think that if it like makes contact too much and you like break the contact and back and forth, like it can't handle that, so I had to replace it." And so like I hear this and I'm okay. And so like I was like, "Oh yeah, it's good that the heater's fixed now. It seems to be working." I was like, "Yeah, did he explain to you what was wrong with it?" She's like, "Yeah, well, you just set the little like conductor." I'm like, "Yeah, like so basically what it is like you keep turning the heat up and down and it fucking broke the goddamn thermostat because you keep turning it up and down. Stop turning it up and down." She's like, "Yeah.
It doesn't need to be 75 at night."
Well, like what happens is she gets up in the morning and she's like, "Oh, it's cold." So she goes out and she like turns up the heat and it goes, and she goes and gets by the heat, right? Because she's gonna change her clothes, right? She's taking off her pajamas and like and she's naked and she's gonna like put on her clothes like to like change her clothes, and it's like she doesn't want to be like cold for like the 3 seconds it takes to put on clothes, so she has to like get in front of the heater. And they're doing that every day for like 2 months. Like fuck the heater up, and I was like, "You gotta stop doing that. There's a space heater now, so stop like turning it up and down." It's like fucks the heater up apparently. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm sorry."
Okay, Dad.
It's just like watching the like.
I just feel like I'm a wild animal. I was like, "Yeah, it's cold enough to go to sleep. Yeah, the sun's out. I'll just get up right now. I don't really care."
Sun's up.
This bright sun in the sky, this bright light in the sky is waking me up. I gotta get up now. Is it cold? Whatever. What you typing there, buddy?
Oh, she's fretting about me. She gets a little,
Thanks, Mom.
No, she has, like, anxiety. And she's like, sometimes I'm just sitting in the house and I just, like, think maybe you're dead. And I'm like, "No, I'm not dead."
You ever think these thoughts about your existence?
You ever think,
time like you're gonna like die soon and you're not accomplishing all the things that you want?
I think that every day. That's the constant state I live my life in.
Oh yeah, that's me all the time.
And you just go like, "You know what? I'm fine with that."
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it will happen. But no, yeah. So we got the heater fixed. But yeah, it was like this really oblique way of him telling me like, "Yeah, your girlfriend fucked the heater up by turning it up and down every day." And I was like, "Yeah, you gotta." And yeah, I try not to be that way. Like, fill the Brita pitcher and fucking like don't waste all the goddamn energy. It's like, but can't help it apparently.
Yeah, I think that does it for this week.
Okay.
Went a little bit. Yeah, we went pretty longer than usual.
Well, I'm
I didn't have too much
longer
content.
than usual, so.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
Yeah, no, you know.
I don't know. I am? Drinking too much whiskey. We're going to cut you off, sir.
No. Good day to you, sir.
Good day. You got anything else to say?
Christmas time is a time where many people think that
Jesus is our Lord and Savior. Recognize that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can just end on your note. It's fine.
What?
Just no, it's cool.
Yeah.
I
start the show and I end the show.
That's true. That's true. That's
Got any Christmas lessons for us then?
Christmas lessons?
Mm-hmm. Or winter solstice lessons for you pagan people.
Is it winter solstice yet?
That just passed.
Did it?
Yeah.
I never remember when it is.
It's the longest night of the year.
The longest night, shortest day of the year. Hey, well, that's a thing. Now the days will get longer.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you never notice.
Darkest before the dawn.
Yeah, people are always like, it's like, oh, well, it's good because it's winter now, and so the days are getting longer. Like, the days are short in winter. It's like, no, they're not. They're longer.
The beginning of winter is, the longest. Then it gets lighter.
Every day in winter is longer than the previous day.
Yes.
But that's apparently not the way people think about it. They're like, oh, every day is longer than winter. They're like, no, it's not. The days are short in the winter.
Yes.
It's like, well, they are short, but they get longer every day. Mm-hmm. Because the first day of winter is the shortest day of the year. Mm-hmm. So it's longer every day.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things.
Yeah. That does it for this week. Stay funky, my bros.
Thanks for listening to Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. Consider subscribing. You can rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And you can also write us with any ideas, suggestions, or horrible burning criticism at mikeyandthepresspass@gmail.com. Thank you.